What up? What up? What up, world? On a Wednesday, Coop, how you doing, bro?
I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death.
Yes, sir. Let me get my notes, man, while we're out here real quick. And we getting everybody welcomed into the room. Let me grab a
I'm
note.
still I'm still typing.
Still typing?
Yeah, I
Did
mean,
people get
because
the notification yet?
no, I mean because we couldn't find the article, so I'm literally having to backtrack it in my memory right now.
Okay.
Because we're gonna get to some of the crux of the things that were said in that article because I remember it still. And
There's
we
a
have
lot.
some
And
folks.
you said that even had you questioning your early journalism and your early music listening ear. Shout out to everybody coming in the room. Yo, what up? What up? What's good?
That's one of the things that when you said we're going to go down a rabbit hole today, and probably the rabbit hole is going to take us a few different ways. Well, that's one of the places that we need to go when we go down the rabbit hole is that like we need to have a conversation and discussion about what happens in how when other writers who are on the forefront and on the stage, so to speak, compromise and sacrifice their journalistic integrity and how it affects the next generation of writers who are looking up to them, reading their material, wanting to be in the sphere, wanting to take their place one day as they move into other things. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Right.
No, no, you're right. We're going to get into all of that. Terminator 2 said, Mike, you see the backlash on your common criticisms, bro. Yeah, I mean, I saw some people who had some adverse things to say. And like I said, I think that as long as there's continuous open dialogue about the state of the nation, no matter who's in office, I'm cool with that. Because I mean, is Common speaking about Brittany Griner not getting, getting freed from Russia? Where's he at on that? Actually, I haven't even seen him post about the young brother that just got hit with 60 shots out there in Ohio. But again, I'm not here to cast aspersions. I'm just
Did
saying.
you talk about what happened in Chicago on the 4th yet?
Again, I just want people to be socially aware and socially conscious 100% of the time, and not just when certain people are,
No,
in
I'm
power.
legitimately no, I'm legitimately asking because I don't know, and a whole tragedy just happened.
Let's see.
Not too far.
And again, I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I would really like to know, especially on a day like this when we're talking about people's integrity potentially being compromised.
yeah. I mean, again, and I know fans are trying to make it like something that it ain't. I've said over and over, I would love to talk to Common. I got questions as a fan. And again, I don't think that we should be living in a culture where we feel like anybody is above reproach or, above a conversation, shall we say. So, but, again, we talk about people getting freed from these situations, say what you will about the other president, but he got ASAP out of there. He got the Ball brothers out of there when they got into that trouble overseas as well. Let's just keep it a buck. And the sad part about it is, Brittany Griner probably voted for this man. And they're not even trying to help you get out.
I mean, just the fact that she has to write him a letter, I find that to be very problematic. They should have already had some sort of contact by now.
He ain't gonna do nothing.
But as an independent, I'm gonna digress.
Yeah.
Just get free like me is what I would urge people to do. It's called being independent. You don't have to belong with anybody. You don't owe anybody shit.
No, I mean, it's all about whoever's going to do something for you. Like, people could call Kodak whatever they want, but the fact that he's showing an allegiance to somebody who actually freed him, how can you be mad at that?
I mean, I be telling people, even just how the system runs, if you really want to know the truth, I'm not saying we need to burn this country down and start again. I'm just saying I keep 2 boxes of matches and my crowbar and my pistol in my car just in case. So
I do think that, I think the notion of the power in voting is a real thing. I think voting is, all right, if we're talking about black people and black Americans specifically, right? The power is in voting, but you can't just give that power away to anybody. we got to be able to negotiate with our vote. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Jay Short with the super chat says, y'all see Cube trying to get $100 million from the NFL. Now about Jay in the chess move. Yeah, I saw what Cube's doing. Cube is over there proposing to create jobs. And big ups to Cube, man. He's always stayed firm with what he's about. And again, the president said they were going to meet with Cube like 2 years ago, man. Any updates on that, people?
It's very problematic.
To the people out there who think I'm, full of shit or politically ignorant, what's the update on that?
Let me know how that goes.
And, what I'm saying, again, not to dump on Common again, but he has those relationships. He's been out there campaigning for these people, and he was in barbershop movies with Cube. You can get it in there, Common? Help us out, man.
Very problematic.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
I'm going to say less. I'm an independent. I'm going to say less.
Anyway, man. All right, so Westside Gunn got an album coming out. And before we get into this Nas thing, and I know we got 125 people in the room already, early, what are you expecting for Westside and Stove God on this
I'm
project?
excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. The Game also said that he got like 7 samples cleared by Jay or something. He was thanking Jay for 7 samples getting cleared.
Don't like that at all.
His album's on the way.
Now that I don't like. First part I like. You want to know what else I like? And I know we're probably going to touch on this Friday when you kind of get a chance to go through the interview in full. Like, to hear Method Man is such a head. And people are like, yo, y'all like Meth too much? It's like, no. Meth is a head. Meth was talking about Griselda in the interview. That was one of the points. But, Mike, he knew the whole crew. He started talking about Flea Lord. And you know what I mean?
He works with these guys.
Yeah, like when he was saying they was asking, trying to do something with him, he was like, oh, he was talking about Lemon. He's like, he didn't even care who it was because he's like, because all them niggas can spit. He's like, all of them. He's like, they're all And he started talking about Flea and like all that. And I'm thinking like, oh, how can you not love this guy? This is one of the greatest rappers of all time. And he's talking about, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like, he was talking the way you and I talk,
Method Man's so, man, he's a different guy, man. You know what?
You and I talk about it.
I'm a huge Method Man fan, and I was listening to.
That's what I was saying. Like,
I was listening to Blackout the other day, and people who know me know that is like one of my personal favorite albums. Nobody around me really loved it like I did. I think the production was kind of whatever, but the chemistry that Redman and Method Man had on that album, it taught me a lot about not only rap but being in a group with somebody. They made it fun, man. Like they were bouncing off of each other, and I love that album. I know that album backwards and forwards, bro.
No, that's what I mean. You got to watch the interview. One of the best takes is where they're talking about how the only person that's ever really got Meth on a record actually is Red. And he actually starts going. He goes down to a rabbit. Mike, he goes down into the best Inspector Deck rabbit hole I think I've ever heard an MC spit out about Deck in the Clan.
Well, it's Deck's birthday. I guess we got to acknowledge that too.
That's perfect.
Happy birthday, Deck. What was some of the Deck rabbit holes? And Tabernet with the super chat says, y'all heard Banks and Conway yet? Cootie 2 dropping soon. No, we haven't. We're going to talk about new music on Friday mostly.
Right. We're going to talk about it more on Friday because I want you to watch it. But he was more or less, he's like, get that nigga Deck the same features that me, Ray, Ghost, and and Jizza get, like, same career is what he's pretty much saying. And he's like, if Deck's just a monster, he'll blast you on. Yeah, he's like, if Deck just would have got more run, he's like, that's the only thing he was missing. It was just more run.
We saw how dominant I don't want to say dominant, but how standout he was on Wu-Tang records with some of the best MCs to ever walk this planet.
Okay,
but I think that the solo song, it's what's, in that time period.
Yeah.
But we've talked about that and the flood and all that stuff.
Right. Well, Meth is part of Wu-Tang Clan, obviously, and he's Method Man. So hearing Method Man talk about Deck is like way better ever than hearing you and I talk about it from his perspective.
Right.
And so that's why I kind of want you to listen to it because he kind of he was saying stuff that I knew, but hearing Method Man say it and like the perspective he was coming from, it was like, It's like, what Deck's like? It's like, Inspector Deck. I don't know, like on incarcerated Scarfaces. You feel me?
This is true, and he's probably heard Deck rhyme on records that we'll never ever hear. And he's probably heard or seen him in the studio putting down shit. I mean, I'm sure that they actually finished these recordings from the flood and all that, right? And I'm sure Method Man has heard those records too.
I mean, there's also the fact that it's like, well, Method Man has the hook on Cream, but Deck has the verse.
Yeah, he does.
You know, I told you on Protect Your Neck. How does Protect Your Neck start off? Starts off with Deck. How Triumph start off? It starts off with Deck. They started off their career with Deck taking the stage first. Protect Your Neck's their lead off single. Who starts off Protect Your Neck?
Yeah, that's a lot of faith in an MC.
That's a lot of faith in Deck. That's what I'm saying. And he has the best verse on there to me until you get to the GZA's verse. Technically speaking, if we're talking about rhyming, his verse is the best verse till the GZA comes in.
Yeah, and the GZA's
verse on Protect Your Neck might be the best technical verse that rap here.
Blue Collar Hustler with the super chat says, as a common fan, I find your criticism valid. Only issue I have is acting like Common not supporting Ye politically is foul. Who in their right mind would ever support Mr. Slavery was a choice for president? You know, I don't have a problem with that. And I think I said this, but I do have a problem with you openly campaigning against the person that put you in this position.
I can take it. Let's see. That's I think that's a micro hip hop view, respectfully. Let me give you some macro. Donald Trump got in office. Free bands, Mike. Free bands. All right. I want to hear this and that. You just let Donald Trump in office. Like, Donald Trump got in office in the United States of America. Let me tell you how my first day in Paris went, which was shortly thereafter this happened. How could you all let that happen? I looked at these people. I said, me? I'm looking at, how did I let this happen? That's how that happened. So when
I think with him, you know, and with Kanye as well, I think that these people are public figures, public personalities, and I think people have stripped down their character and have a long resume on who they are, and it's been very public about who they are. I think if we did the same thing to everyone who's been the president of the United States, you would be displeased in their character flaws as well. Especially the one that's currently in there.
Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Right. And a racist. Let's not, I mean, there are phone calls of him saying very racist things. So it happens.
Hey, but look, but all the people on that side go, but he was such a great speaker.
Right. Swain with the super chat says, Meth Butterfly Effect single is way underrated. Yeah, and Lemon too. Let's get into this, man. I want thumbs up in the chat so we can get more and more people in here to talk about this subject, man. We want to talk about It Was Written, and we want to talk about the culture that was created with these Nas hit pieces, and it really starts from It Was Written. Jay Short with the super chat before we get into it says, what would it take for Meth to make a great solo project? Has that time passed? I unfortunately think that time has passed, but you know, I think it would take RZA.
He just made a great solo project.
Well, I mean, they're talking about all-time.
Like a classic?
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the things that we let's just go ahead and address this part of it too. I mean, people need to understand that in 1994, going into 1995, the only platinum solo rappers that the East Coast had to boast about were Biggie and Method Man, because Tikal went platinum. Yeah. Tikal sold almost as much as Ready to Die. So it's like, for whatever you may, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be outside for some of this stuff to understand that something like some of this stuff happened. Like, Method Man was going platinum in a time that, like, you know, East Coast rappers didn't go platinum unless they were Biggie and had Puff making Big Papa and Juicy.
Well, this is the thing, right? He had RZA, and we talk extremely highly of RZA. Method Man had the star power that a Snoop Dogg had.
Yes.
And I don't think it's too far out there for us to expect that Method Man would have been able to give us a Doggy Style or Only Built for Cuban Links.
I think that's what people were expecting. Yeah. I think people were expecting the East Coast Doggy Style from Yeah.
I think that's kind of unreasonable, but I understand.
No, I don't think it was unreasonable because as an MC, he is capable.
As an MC, he's capable. We hold RZA super high, and Wu Tang is Wu Tang, so I understand, the
Yeah.
criticism.
And Wu Tang is forever.
Big ups to everybody in the chat. Big ups to everybody overseas, nationally, internationally. Man, we appreciate y'all. What we're about to go into, though, is this tweet that kind of set off a firestorm. Coop was really going in on the thread, too. Elliot Wilson.
I didn't really
Of,
go in.
you didn't really go in? Okay.
I didn't
Elliot
curse.
Wilson of Rap Radar and founder of Ego Trip magazine back in the day. Editor at the Source magazine, right? Later on the XXL.
Music editor at the Source.
Music editor.
Editor-in-chief at Double XL.
Gotcha, thank you. And so he put out this tweet. It says, "It was written was hated upon arrival. Today, many folks feel it's better than Illmatic. Hip hop is wild, yo. Ha." That's an interesting statement from him because the fans weren't the ones that were, as he says, that hated it was written upon arrival. Fans actually received it was written pretty well. It was the critics and the writers. And I know often Coop talks about the Vibe article that he read back in the day where it kind of started this Nas slander. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that we were saying offline before I go into the Ego Trip article?
What, the personal things that I shared with you?
Yeah, as far as like, the Vibe article and, what that kind of did to you as a listener and as a writer.
Well, yeah. So It Was Written's coming out the summer of '96. So I'm not even 15 yet. I'm actually 14.
Right.
And when I ended up going to high school, school in North Carolina worked a little different at the time. High school started in 10th grade. So fall of 1996 was my technical freshman year of high school at West Charlotte. I signed up for the journalism staff because I've always been a writer my whole life. And obviously they didn't really have a hip hop writer or anything like really hip hop going on. And I was fresh off being in Upward Bound and hearing It Was Written, like constantly. It Was Written and Reasonable Doubt were what was playing on the Upward Bound bus, outside of like the classic hip hop stuff that we already had playing as far as like the new stuff. I wrote my first like published piece, I guess. My first published piece of writing is a music review of It Was Written and Tony Braxton's Secrets. So It Was Written was my first real music piece, my first real writing piece and everything. And I told you, like, I questioned everything that I wrote in that article and even my musical ear and my taste based on how they were explaining what It Was Written sounded like to them. And so people have to understand, too, this is 1996. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm raised in Atlanta, but I'm back in Charlotte. Hip hop's different in 1996, and so is like the credibility. Like Vibe and their journalists had credibility, and a lot of these people, like the gentleman who wrote it, what's his name? Like it's missing me right now because I'm not in.
It's about Chris X.
Yeah, Chris X. Well,
yes.
I mean, he's from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? I'm a kid that's from Charlotte, North Carolina, that loves hip hop the way that he does, but when somebody like him is writing a piece like that about somebody who's becoming my favorite artist, because I'm 14 years old at the time. He's not my favorite artist. I'm actually gravitating more towards Andre. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from down here. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm gonna find like some of the pieces of what Chris X said in that Vibe article because I want to let people know.
I have some of it right here.
Oh, you got some of it because I couldn't find the article.
I need to go back into my other notes. Okay. He said some of the problems with It Was Written are not in what it is written or how it flows, but in its consistently aggressive attempts at pop music. Example, when Nas arrived, he was touted as a microphone god. He remains a poignant figure with a panoramic view of the real and metaphorical ghetto, and his flow is still astounding. But Nas requires a sonic tapestry, as multi-hued and breathtaking as his rhymes. And then the pop success he obviously desires will occur organically. it was written as adequate. Unfortunately, though, Nas's own Second Coming isn't nearly satisfying as the first one. That's how that review ends. I remember that. That's a striking way to end somebody's review for their sophomore album. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me go to what I remember from that article that I couldn't find a quote on. He starts off that way.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off like almost all Nas pieces start off, talking about Illmatic and Illmatic's place in history. Keep in mind, this is literally 2 years removed from Illmatic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I told you I started questioning things and it became problematic to me. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because 2 of the albums he was talking about and that he referenced in relationship to Illmatic, I had heard and had heard backwards and forward and knew very well by then. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, a lot of people... this is how he said it. A lot of people have debated whether Illmatic is a classic. And the first thing I said to myself is like, ain't nobody down here in Charlotte debating whether the fuck Illmatic is a classic. What is he talking about? You know, I'm like,
nobody, period.
Like nobody on the west side of Charlotte thinks that Illmatic is not a classic that I've seen or heard. You know what I mean? Everybody out here talking about it. You know, it says, and then he says, well, Illmatic is a classic in a sense. And it doesn't call it a full-on classic. It says it's
in a sense.
It says it's a classic in its sense because it brought back lyrics and lyricism. It also brings up the fact that he barely moved 300,000 copies the first year that it came out. That's how I've always gotten, Mike, that's where my knowledge of that comes from, that it didn't sell 300,000 copies the first year. That's how the Vibe article starts. So think about it. The Vibe article starts saying, well, is Illmatic a classic? Well, kind of, sort of. Oh, yeah, by the way, it only moved 300,000 units. Like saying, how can you call something like that a classic when Method Man and Biggie are going platinum? And then it says it is a classic, but it's not a classic on the level of, listen to what it said, Paid in Full, The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, and By All Means Necessary. Now, the first thing that I thought to myself is like, well, I need to go listen to By All Means Necessary because I hadn't listened to it yet. I had heard Paid in Full and I'd heard The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. My first thought is I need to listen to By All Means Necessary.
And this is 14-year-old you.
This is 14-year-old me. My first thought is I need to go listen to By All Means Necessary right now. Like right now and hear what the fuck this guy's talking about. My second thought was Illmatic is better than The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, and I love me some The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, even the 14-year-old me. It's the first rap album I ever heard from beginning to end. And then I said to myself, he might be onto something with this Paid in Full thing. Because you have to understand, this is still 1996. I just really got put on to Rakim and Paid in Full that summer. So when he started off by saying Paid in Full, I thought it was some valid, and it's still valid to this day, because for a lot of people, Paid in Full is the Illmatic of its era.
Why is he even going back and comparing Illmatic to those albums during the It Was Written review? So
that was my problem. Is like, okay, look at how far, and this was what the 14-year-old me didn't know, and here's what people need to understand. I didn't understand how far back he was going and how many classics he had jumped over just that came out of the East Coast that he could have compared it to. He had to go back to the best stuff that literally came out of the East Coast from the 80s. Like, he literally went Rakim, Slick Rick, KRS-One, their best work. Mike, not possibly their best work, because think about it. He didn't go to Follow the Leader or Let the Rhythm Hit Him or Don't Sweat the Technique. He went all the way to Paid in Full. This is 1996. Rakim has made Follow the Leader, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, and Don't Sweat the Technique. Why do you have to compare Illmatic to Paid in Full? Because you already know that Don't Sweat the Technique, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, and Follow the Leader, well, as great as they are, they're not Illmatic, and you know it.
Yeah.
So you have to go to Paid in Full just to make your point. Well, at that point, I didn't understand that at 14, but then I started understanding the music. See, like I hadn't heard the low end theory from beginning to end yet at that age. You feel me? And then you start getting older. It's like, well, why didn't you compare it to the low end theory? That came out in 1991 going into 1992.
Right.
You know, why didn't you compare it to like what the album by Red? You get what I'm saying?
Right. Why are you comparing it anyway? It's like they were going out their way to pick albums that you can't go against.
Right. They picked their best classics because I heard By All Means Necessary. And I'm like, oh, well, these are probably the 3 best East Coast albums that I had ever heard. And Mike, and then I think It Takes a Nation to Millions to Hold Us Back is the album they named too. And then I went and listened to It Takes a Nation to Millions to Hold Us Back. And I'm like, well, that's just not fair.
Right.
Because in 1996, it's not fair to compare anything to It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, because the way that album had sat, even in that brief breath of time, it was easily, probably in most people's mind who are acquainted with hip hop, the best rap album ever in 1996.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
There wasn't a question in 96 if It Takes a Nation of Millions was considered to be our best piece of rap work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Jevin June with the super chat says, "It Was Written sounds contemporary even today. It's slick and its allure continues to grow." Jay Short says, "People hated Trackmasters. It Was Written and Mr. Smith have aged well, though." I was very critical of Trackmasters too, but when we look back at it, I think that some of this journalistic slander, it kind of starts molding your opinions on things. And I think that that's what the It Was Written slander has kind of, broke forth. We got 007 in the building. He says It Was Written was the best rap album of 1996. Argue with your mama. Well, that's interesting you say that, because Ego Trip, they actually have a list, or had a list in their magazine. Here's their list of the best albums of 1996. Best hip-hop albums. Number 1's Reasonable Doubt. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 3, Hell on Earth. ATLiens at 4. The Score at 5. Muddy Waters at 6. Firing Squad at 7. Stakes is High at 8. Psychoanalysis at 9. Prince Paul, my man. Don Illuminati. 7 Day Theory at 10. Enigma at 11. Dr. Octagonalist at number 12. We got The Coming at 13, All Eyes on Me at 14, Bow Down at 15, Hardcore at 16, Philadelphia Half-Life at 17, Wrath of the Math at 18, The Hall of Game at 17. Yeah, Hall of Game at 19, Nocturnal at 20, Riding Dirty at 21, The Resurrection by the Ghetto Boys at 22, not to be confused with Common's Resurrection. You got At the Speed of Life from Exhibit at 23. 24, you got Ice Cream Man by Master P, and you got Crucial Conflict, The Final Tick at 25. Ego Trip, the magazine that was founded by the gentleman that we're talking about here, Elliot Wilson, his publication left It Was Written off the top 25 hip-hop albums of 1996. Now, let's just be real. I mean, regardless of what anyone's opinions are on It Was Written, you have to force yourself not to put that album on this list. And I say that respectfully. I mean, come on, man. You really got The Final Tick on here by Crucial Conflict. You want to say that's a better album than It Was Written, man? Come on, man.
So, I mean, there are a couple things. First of all, you can argue has a head in terms of what your aesthetic is, but those first 6 albums that you listed, It Was Written belongs with those 6 albums.
Straight up.
In whatever way you want to call it for 1996, because those are the albums that I remember. This is the year that I became a head. This was the year, and so when you're saying ATLiens, I'm like, no, that is yes. Reasonable Doubt. Oh yes, The Score. Yes, Iron Man. Yes, and motherfucking It Was Written right there. And
yeah.
also Stakes is High and Philadelphia should be higher to me. So there are 2 things that's going on with here. First of all, they're not only showing the Nas bias, they're showing the Regency bias.
Oh yeah.
The Tupac albums are too far back.
Oh,
All Eyes on Me is where?
All Eyes on Me is at 14.
Okay, that means you don't like the Biggie and Puffy talk, and you're from New York.
Ed with the super chat says, "Is it safe to say that Nas It Was Written influenced Biggie's life after death sonically and lyrically?" What do you think?
He did the same thing with Ready to Die. The only reason that DJ Premier is on Ready to Die is because they heard Illmatic. No, we got to give Big some of that. Nas just got Preem. The stories I told you that Niggas Bleed is the response to hearing the setup and shootouts on It Was Written. That's where Niggas Bleed and I Got a Story to Tell comes from. They're sparring with each other, and Nas was always first in the ring.
Man, with the super chat says, All Eyes on Me and Riding Dirty is too low on that list. I mean, listen, man.
Not 96.
No, 96. Yeah, All Eyes on Me should not be 14.
He said All Eyes on Me too. Now All Eyes on, that's what I'm saying. So All
Yeah,
Eyes on Me goes up, that should go up there where It Was Written goes. That's what I'm saying. Like It Was
All
Written
Eyes
should
on
be
Me.
in
Let's
there.
keep it real, man. Like Pac was running 96, man, and he had the music to match. All Eyes on Me should really be at the number one spot here.
I mean, if we're
At
talking,
least top
are we
three,
talking the best album, or are we talking All Things Considered?
all things considered. I
If we're
mean,
talking All Things Considered, it's number one.
yeah. And but
And
if you
two.
want to talk
How about
about
this?
quote unquote,
Look, if it's all, if it's that, disc one is number one and disc two is number two, and then we can get to everybody else on the list.
all right. So the same publication that put this out, and again, this is Elliott Wilson's publication, Ego Trip. Here's the actual review that they did for It Was Written. They did it in a real weird way too. 007 says, remember how Big and Pop looked at Nas? Said enough said. Jay Short with the super chat says, Tim for a hat. Do you think that the New Yorkers were salty at Nas for not going back at Pop? I mean, he was seen as the best lyricist, and he was silent, and his silence was deafening.
Let's talk
About that before we get to the article.
Yeah, and I'm about to say, and I'm not done. There's still some comments that I remember from that Vibe article I want to spew out.
Okay.
Yeah, but go ahead.
The Truest says, final tick in that picture, and picture this, should be top 10. All right, this is what I want to do. Because like I said, the list says what it says, right? But this article that they put out there, and I might need to make this a little bigger. This article that they put out there, they did it in a weird way where they actually reviewed what? It Was Written and Reasonable Doubt at the same time? Is that what they did?
Unfortunately. Unfortunately for them today, they did. It's called Chickens Coming Home to Roost. They had no business doing this. How many ways can we unpack how they had no business doing this? This is what I mean. It's like when I be telling you, Mike, about like how like it's like this is that shit that like Andre's talking about on Rosa Parks. You know what I mean? Like it's like when your favorite people like do sucker shit, like the people that you look up to, it's like the product is like really whack at the end of the day. And it's like, and it was like I've always known this stuff. It's like I've kind of just been cool about it and been quiet, especially since like people keep saying that we're a Nas channel, Mike, but it's like people understand it's not that we're a Nas channel, it's that we're journalists, and this is a disservice to one of our greatest MCs that's blatant and obviously being done, that's never been done to another MC the likes of him. Like, There's nothing like this shit that we can go search for about Rakim or KRS or Kane.
All the way down to the notion
Jay.
that he's the worst beat picker. You know what I mean?
We can keep it current. Kendrick, Cole, Drake, Wayne.
Okay, let me get to this article real quick because there's a lot to unpack here, right?
Never been this problematic. So we're not a Nas channel. We're just really good journalists who haven't been, I'm not going to say people have been paid to espouse these opinions. It just appears like they have been because they have no credible or integral reason as journalists to do so.
Yeah. And again, the people have spoken.
They have no evidence.
The people have spoken, and they want to make it seem like the people were the ones that were saying all these bad things initially. No, that was you guys.
Do you understand that when I got this message, I was literally leaving church with my daughter, and I was like, somebody's trying to make me curse or really get me out of character as soon as I leave my place of worship today. This dude is wild for this. And then he talking about some fans are wild. Are the fans wild or are you wild? Because
right.
It's like man.
Well, speaking of which, let me get to the article. We'll break this thing down.
Him and Mr. X, what's his name? Chris X and Elliott Wilson need to bring their ass outside. Because here's the thing. I want people to go up on XO's Twitter page and ask him to drop this Vibe article that I know he has. Because we're going to talk about how you can find so much of his writing material, but how that Vibe review has conveniently disappeared. His name is XO on Twitter, has an EXO. Let's get that Vibe article put up the way you put up all your other credible journalistic pieces of work.
Yeah. Well, let me get into this article because we couldn't find the Vibe article, but we could find this Ego Trip article where they,
EXO on Twitter,
where they did the Reasonable Doubt and It Was Written review at the same time. So it says, in case you haven't heard, the native tongue has been officially reinstated. While initially Pasta News proclaims on De La Soul's The Stakes is High, excited me, like the flirt from the lovely lady, blah, blah, blah. All right, yeah, let's get to the it was written talk, right? Let's see. Here we go at the top right here. As we reach to close the summer, two of the season's most important records, Nas' It Was Written and Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, are still lingering in the mind. While Jay, the author of the gold double-sided 12-inch Dead Presidents, Ain't No Nigga, has an album reigning supreme on on all places, the top of the Billboard pop charts. Who, let's see, who could have predicted that hip hop's favorite son, Nasir Jones, would become a certified pop phenomenon? Yes, Nas's 1994 debut, Illmatic, was an underground masterpiece. Once again, they started with Illmatic. It's an underground masterpiece, and while they caught their fair share of flack for it, the old school editors at the Source magazine were right when they awarded it the coveted 5 mic rating that proclaimed it a hip hop classic. However, when Illmatic struggled in the marketplace, don't think anyone at Nas's label at Columbia felt content with the critical kudos. Returning on It Was Written with the commercial proven production team Trackmasters, with whom he shares management, Nas does his best to make their collaborations effective. Unfortunately, he is subverted by the record's attempt at proving a universal vibe. The extra cheesy disco groove of the Arithmetic's inspired Street Dreams, the No Joe, like synthesized lazy, watch them niggas, and the lyrically enchanting but superficial and bubbly Black Girl Lost are representations of the more mature Nas sound. Even worse, It Was Written's Dr. Dre Nas marquee matchup, Nas Is Coming, winds up being its deuce shot at bicoastal unity that Dre should be ashamed of himself to put his name on the credits. Nas is better served when he's sticking to the street instinct, collaborating with Mobb Deep on the clever, the setup, and the pulsating live nigga rap, establishing with his click the firm, affirmative action, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to this other part. Okay. So it says, these moments all hint that somewhere within the gold-plated body of Nas' beats, hearts still filled with the troubled streets of his hometown Queensbridge. Equally proud of his roots and his status as a product of his environment is Brooklyn's Jay-Z, who is first introduced to rap fans on the side of Marcy Project's MC Big Jazz with Tongue Twisting, the originators. After experiencing his up and most downs into his own hand in forming Rockefeller Records, ever since his future has become so bright that we need to borrow his homie Biggie's Versace shades. In fact, Notorious Big crashes the block party on Reasonable Doubt, on the Ohio Players Loop, Brooklyn's Finest, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great things to say about that. So they kind of bring it back around. They say, in many ways, Jay-Z is the personification of everything Nas wishes he could become. While Jay-Z is a confident, low-key Big Willie who whips his custom-made Lexus through dangerous areas, an introverted Nas looks out his bedroom window and dreams of one day owning such a traveling mobile. Thanks to Lauryn Hill of the Fugees, whose sultry vocal tones on If I Ruled the World spurred It Was Written's commercial playback. Nas is now privy to any and all perks that a young man could want. Nas has been blessed by the Fugees' quadruple platinum touch, and all Jay-Z has at his disposal is a sore throat assistance from hip-hop's non-crossover queen, Mary J. Blige, on Can't Knock the Hustle. They owe Mary J. Blige an apology for that slander. It may be unfair to dismiss Nas' success as merely piggybacking off of L Boogie and her refugee camp, but I can come to no other conclusion for the year's most surprising success story as almost overnight. Nas the Martyr has become Nas the Superstar. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is somewhere lounging on a leather couch, sipping ice-cold bottle of Moet, since he still runs his own operations and puts out his own shit. Jay-Z, when all said and done, divvied up while probably making more money. Sorry, Nas, the world is still up for grabs.
Bang, bang,
Well,
bang.
you know what? First of all, to address the whole help thing, with them sitting here saying that Nas piggybacked off of Lauryn Hill in the Fuji success, they recorded If I Ruled the World in 1995. The Fugees weren't anything in 95. When the score dropped, and let's keep it real, I want to say Fuji Live was around January or so. I think Killing Me Softly was around May. And that's when the record started selling like crazy, right? And I think If I Ruled the World, I may be wrong, but I feel like it was before. It was released as a single before
Killing Me
Killing Me
Softly.
Softly. Yeah,
I
because
feel that way
because
too.
it was written actually dropped in July, right? June, July. And if Killing Me Softly came out in May, I'm pretty sure If I Ruled the World was out before that. So, first of all, that's just dishonest to even say that, oh,
Keep
yeah,
talking
they're
while
sitting here like, yo, you need to get with Lauryn Hill or whatever so you can have a hit. No, it wasn't like that. They recorded this record a year before the Fuji success.
well, let's start with a couple things. First of all,
Okay. And I'm gonna get
what's
to the super chats
no,
too.
no,
I
no.
didn't forget
But-
y'all.
Yeah, because they're I like how they point out the Trackmasters management relationship conveniently, but they don't point out the Fuji's label mate relationship. The Fuji's are signed to Columbia just like
Of
Nas.
course, of course.
So record label companies, when they have artists, it's easier for them financial P&L sheet wise. Artists work in house together.
Of course,
So-
because all that money stays in house.
Because the money stays in house.
Yeah.
If black people would stop talking about that and understand that, they would understand why these companies have money, because they see a group like the Fugees working on their sophomore album and an artist like Nas working on his sophomore album, and they're like, hey, right.
It promotes one another, and not to mention, obviously, the label's getting the cut from whatever feature fee that you got going on. So yeah, the same budget that they're giving Nas, they're getting it back when he solicits for, you know what I'm saying, Lauryn Hill. So that just makes sense. Dumb It Down with the super chat says, it was written is number one in 1996, but don't you think that article is the same as when you bring up Rakim and talking about Lupe, or bring up Shaq when he's about Wilt? I don't see the correlation.
Hold on. Here's some hip hop history for you that I forgot and that people need to understand. The relationship with Salah Remy is forged because of the relationship with the Fugees.
Of course,
because
they went on tour together. I mean, they went on
tour together, but he's a producer on the score. So let's see. Fuji La was released January 9th. The album was released February 13th. Salah Remy, of course, produced Fuji La. I mean, we all know. The second, Mike, you're right. The second single, Killing Me Softly, May 31st, 1996.
That's at the very end of May. That's damn near June.
So let's see when If I Rule the World got released. Because if Fuji La is all they got, what I'm telling you, because here's the thing, about when did that article, that Ego Tripping piece actually drop? Because
I would imagine it dropped when the album dropped, so they had to hear it. Probably got their advanced copies. Had to be around June or July, I would imagine. 007 the super chat says, who paid the writer? Honest question.
No. We're gonna get to some of the alleged stuff that we really don't know.
My man Swain with the super chat says, remember on Machiavelli when Pac said Nas was the alleged ringleader?
Yeah.
Pac respected Nas as the illest on the East Coast. LP with the super chat says, Elliot literally says Nas won a chip because of Steph, and Jay won a ring without any other star.
Hold on,
such bias. I'm gonna address that too. He said him and his lady have been toxic. And one more super chat, and I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Mike 100 says, question to Mike: was Reasonable Doubt better than It Was Written? I think that it was, but I think that at the end of the day, when we talk about how both records affected hip hop in the moment nationally, I don't see how you can rank it over, It Was Written at the time. I think one of the biggest things about Reasonable Doubt and how it's grown is because of who Jay became.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, I would have to say it was written had a much bigger impact on hip hop altogether.
It's not even a question of that.
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt was one of those albums that it's like, oh no, this guy's going to be around for a very long time if he doesn't go to prison.
Yeah.
Like that's what that was that first year. That's like the next 6 months was like, no, this guy's great and he's going to be around as long as he can stay out of trouble.
And the last super chat before I let you go ahead and talk, Well-Versed Session says, the rise of Nas, Cypress Hill, and Fugees. Why not that Rough House movement get more respect? Salam's another underrated piece in that puzzle. Yeah, we need to talk about them more. But go ahead, Coop.
Okay, so the first thing that we need to realize is like, okay, so look at how they're framing the whole piggybacking off the Fugees thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So If I Ruled the World is released on June 4th. So literally they got released 5 days apart.
Yeah,
So Killing Me Softly is dropping, and then literally within a week's time, not even a full 7 days, If I Ruled the World comes out.
And you know what? It's not like in today's time, like you drop a single and the shit blows immediately.
No,
back then, things needed time to actually bubble. So they were bubbling at the same time.
Listen to what I'm saying. This is brilliant marketing and promotion by Columbia Records.
Yeah.
Fuji La has already started to take off. So the Fugees album has been out for 3 months now. They've been living off of one single and have already started selling records. This is part of the Fugees' push towards all those records sold too, because putting Lauryn Hill with Nas keeps her hip hop cred valid while she's singing a Roberta Flack tune.
Yeah.
Let's unpack
over Tribe's Loop.
But I'm about to say, no, let's unpack how, and this is what I always didn't like. I'm not a big fan If I Ruled the World. It's not like one of my favorite Nas songs. I think it's a dope ass record though. But I agree with you 100%. The way people tried to make it seem like this was a pop crossover hit is one, and this is what I'm talking about. This is on the integrity of the journalists, because these journalists from New York know that's a Curtis Blow theme that he took.
Especially at that point, because the people who were grown men and women who were writing this in 1996, they lived through the Curtis Blow. Yeah.
They grew up on Curtis Blow just like Nas. Don't act like you don't know where this theme comes from. Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, the original theme of that came from like a New York-based musical. Like from World War II or 50s or something like that. But in hip hop context that Nas taking that from Curtis Blow. That's hip hop. That's not pop.
That's not pop. And you're right. I didn't think about that, but you're right. That narrative of this being a pop infusion and all, that's totally inaccurate, because you're saying that Curtis Blow is pop then.
It's actually,
this is as hip hop as it gets, right?
No, listen to what I'm about to say. It's actually the only time Nas has done a hip hop remake. If I Ruled the World is Nas's only hip hop remake. He never does other people's shit. He's doing Curtis Blow shit. Don't tell me that's not hip hop. And it's only 11 years removed from that song. It's not like it's old or faded in people's memory. Okay? Second of all, don't tell me that having Lauryn Hill singing On Your Hook is pop or crossover in 1996. She's just starting to get her props as a singer. Part of those props is because of this record accompanied with Killing Me Softly, because most people weren't acquainted with her outside of Sister Act and Fuji La.
What they had to say about Mary J. Blige was totally disrespectful.
We're going to get to that.
And, and let's not sit here and act like Mary was washed on Reasonable Doubt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mary was bigger than Lauryn.
Right.
And they wanted to try to downplay Mary to big up Jay more, which I think is really messed up. They shouldn't have done it like that.
Listen, they trying to downplay Mary. Let me tell another people a piece of history got nothing to do with hip hop. Well, Mary Jane never sung backup on a song for Lauryn, but Lauryn has sung backup for Mary J. Blige. All that I can say. The first release off the Mary album. That's Lauryn Hill singing backup to Mary.
It's fact.
Faith Evans used to sing backup to Mary. Around this same time that they're talking, when Faith shit is popping, as soon as I get home and Can I Come Over and You Used to Love Me, they're trying to tell me that her backup singer, Mary J. Blige.
When is Not Gonna Cry, man? Not Gonna Cry is 96, ain't it?
That is 96. That's Waiting to Exhale.
Are they serious?
That is affirmative. That is affirmative. which is her best vocal performance up to that point.
That was a big ass. It's one of her biggest songs, period. And they sitting here calling Mary washed.
Vocally, it's one of her best songs too for the time. If you go listen to all her stuff, like, you know what I mean? She's a much singer on Not Gonna Cry than she is like on all that other stuff. She's just more soulful. Way better singer on Share My World than Mary.
Jay Short says, people live vicariously through Jay, and that article is proof. Not saying that Jay isn't talented, but he's a hustler, so people can relate. Nas is a prodigy and so talented, some can't relate to that. Yeah, it was almost like they was trying to get brownie points unnecessarily.
No. Like, so, hold on. So let me understand this.
LP also says, "Ain't no nigga is more pop than If I Ruled the World." Okay,
that's facts. So let me get this straight: a Curtis Blow theme with Lauryn Hill singing the hook, and Nas, not 96 Nas rapping on it. That's popping crossover. No, you niggas is whack. And that's what I mean about how they changed the integrity of stuff right there. It's like, no, because when you grow up, I'm like, I grew up and I was like, and then I realized, I'm like, no, you niggas are just whack. And it's like, then you start asking yourself, it's like, well, why did they even do that to Nas?
I want to get to this sentence and dissect this real quick, man. Where he says, Nas is now privy to all the perks a young man could want. Talking about his crossover success. Kind of like they're hating on the fact that he's actually moving units, right? But this is the part I really wanted to get to. Nas has been blessed by the Fugees, quadruple platinum touch, and all Jay-Z has at his disposal is the sore throat assistance from hip-hop's non-crossover queen, Mary J. Blige on Can't Knock the Hustle.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Wow.
Hold on. If Mary J. Blige takes Killing Me Softly and sings it and behind that beat, she's gonna sell. Just telling you.
Non-crossover queen did very well on I'll Be There For You and Method Man, right? That's one of the biggest records of its time.
Makes me want to look up how many records just the single sold.
Yeah. Since we're gonna do that, like, come on, man. Disrespecting Mary J. Blige just so y'all can sit here and downplay.
Actually, you want to know what? First of all, Mike, you went out. I can't see you.
Oh. Let's see. This would happen in the middle of a broadcast. Technical difficulties. Let me see something real quick, Coop.
Yeah.
Are you still on there?
No, I'm here. But people, I don't know if people can't see me or can't see you.
I paused on mine. Let's see.
Okay, I can see you now.
I'm back now? Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm just about to look up like the record sales of it, because it's like I'm wondering if I Rule the World even did what If I'll Be There For You did, since we're talking about sore throated Mary J. Blige.
Non-crossover queen.
No, because I'm pretty certain the summer before her and Method Man made like one of the 10 best hip hop songs ever, which If I Rule the World is not that. As much as, you know.
And again, let's not sit here and act like, you know, Biggie's not on Reasonable Doubt. Let's not act like Mary's not on there and trying to downplay Mary and who she is. Yeah, I mean, Jay held it down on Reasonable Doubt, right? But let's not act like ain't no help there.
Yeah, so the single alone originally sold over 800,000 copies and was certified platinum by the RIAA. Listen, this is literally June 3rd, 1995. The song reached #1 on the R&B singles chart.
Yeah.
Not the rap charts. I'll Be There For You was #1 on the charts. Has in period, point blank, a position it held on Billboard for 3 weeks. It won Grammy for Best Rap Duo Performance. Sore Throated. Who's Sore Throated? She fresh off a Grammy. When I mean she fresh off a Grammy?
It's disrespectful.
Well, I mean, she fresh off a Grammy, Mike. Probably around the time they were recording Can't Knock the Hustle, she had just won this Grammy for I'll Be There For You. Because the Grammys get aired in February, right?
Right.
Reasonable Doubt drops in June, right?
Right.
Yeah. So she's singing this hook right around the time she's winning a Grammy and on #1 on Billboard charts for 3 weeks. Somewhere you don't find black people in 1995. All right.
Well, one of the other things too is the fact that they were, they were casting aspersions that Jay-Z is the man that Nas aspires to be. And I'm like, I don't understand where they collected that from based on the 2 albums. And again, why even make those comparisons? Because it seems like whenever Nas comes with something, they want to find ways to compare it to something. Like you said before, in the Vibe article, they were talking about it was written, or the Vibe article was for it was written, its review, but they were talking about Illmatic and comparing it to the Great Adventures of Slick Rick and Paid in Full. It's like, why can't we just sit here and critique the actual work? But I guess, you can't bash it if you don't compare it to something. Unknown with the super chat says Jay bragged about doing a song with Mary. I did joints with Mary J. Blige. That says it all. I mean, that was a big deal to actually get Mary on the album. It was a huge deal. 007 says it was written, was a street album. Columbia had issues with Nas because they wanted him to go commercial. I am getting bootleg, forced him to going commercial. Where does this animus come from? And again,
my God, hold on, listen to this. Hold on, think about this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. I'll finish my thought when you go. Go ahead.
If I Rule the World is a song by Nas featuring Lauryn Hill, as the first single from it was written. Listen, it is based on a 1985 hit of the same name by American rapper Curtis Blow. Listen to this. And samples the beat of Friends by Houdini. Lauryn Hill's verse interpretates the song Right Up to the Sun by the Delphonics. Tell me
nothing pop there.
That is pop or crossing over. It has elements of Curtis Blow, Houdini, and the Delphonics. How much more soulful and hip-hop do you want it to be in 1996? Their journalistic integrity has been compromised by something, Mike. And we're not saying it's money. I'm not saying niggas paid you. I'm saying it looks like niggas paid you because there's no excuse for your journalistic integrity to get compromised in 1996 to this point, knowing this shit. They know this shit, Mike. They're older than we are, and they're from New York. Yeah. They knew where that beat got sampled from the moment that they heard it drop. They knew where the theme came from the moment that they heard it. And Mike, also too, they had heard Lauryn Hill rap on the score. Ain't nothing pop about Lauryn Hill on the score.
Ain't nothing crossover about Lauryn Hill in 1996.
She lyrically is out rapping everybody not named Nas in 1996. And you telling me this is pop?
They also knew that using the term pop would be kryptonite to a Nas fan who's coming off of Illmatic. They used that term pop to tear down this effort.
It's like this, Mike. It's like that's the algorithm and how the algorithm used to exist. You could still say certain words back then, and it would trigger certain things.
Trigger words, yep.
Or calling Nas pop after Illmatic. Oh, no. You're trying to put certain things into the algorithm. That's defamation.
There's no, like you said, there's no point of reference to any of this being pop. You got the Delphonics, you got Houdini, and you got Curtis Blow. And you got Lauren singing, and Nas is rapping on all three verses heavily.
And he's not rapping. I was about to say.
Yeah, he's not singing, rapping.
This isn't Dr. Knockboot or You Won't See Me Tonight.
Right. Mad Max with the super chat says, to the people in the chat, Lauryn Hill don't sing better than Mary. Stop saying that, man. Mary's a better singer than Lauryn. It is.
It is what it is.
LP with the super chat says, the last paragraph, trash, brought up money. Ugly.
The single, look, this is what If I Ruled the World did since Mary Can't Sing. It reached number 53, while Mary was number 1 the year before.
This is what I'm getting, right? And I see somebody saying something about they wanted Nas to say underground and broke. I feel like whatever Nas was coming out with, they were going to trash it anyway. Mm-hmm. If it was something that sounded like Illmatic, they would have trashed it for that.
Right. They'd be like, oh, he just did this again. You were supposed to be our child prodigy that was supposed to grow. Why didn't you get better like Rakim did on Follow the Leader lyrically?
Literally,
did.
This top 25 listing for 1996, that tells you all you need to know. That it's right there just lets you know that they got something against Nas. I mean, I would love if Elliott Wilson's out here talking about it was written again and talking about it was hated upon arrival and this and that. I would love for Elliott Wilson to speak on like what you got against Nas, because it seems like there's something there. And that Vibe article that you were talking about, I found it interesting that somebody pointed out, I think it was LP, he pointed out in our community section, that Elliot Wilson's wife was actually the musical editor at Vibe at the time as well. So, I mean,
So
everybody was on code with hating on Nas at the time.
no. Let's jump down the Danielle Smith rabbit hole right quick.
Let's go.
First of all,
Tim for a Kufi show today.
right? No. First of all, Danielle Smith, as a journalist, oh, her integrity and her writing and who she is above both of these dudes, Chris X and Elliot Wilson. Let's go ahead and put that on Front Street. Whatever they aspire to be as a journalist is actually who she is. And this is what I mean about integrity being compromised. Because here's what I mean when I did my research. And people don't understand hip hop used to be different. See, Danielle Smith, she from the Bay. She not from New York. She from San Francisco, Oakland area, I believe. She from the Bay Area, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So she's the music editor for Vibe when this piece about when the Vibe music review by Chris X is being done. And what I'm telling you is that, and I'm telling you this as a guy, like I'm not speaking as a journalist, I'm speaking as a man. And I'm speaking because I know what time it is. Oh, well, if she dating a dude from Queens while she's the music editor of Vibe, and that dude is telling her that Nas album isn't anything, I'm not saying it compromises her integrity, but I'm saying in 1996, yeah, that probably influences her opinion somewhat. Like, you're a man, Mike. You've been in a relationship with a woman. You know the things that you need to do and say to a woman to get your way, to get her to understand certain things when she's your woman. You get what I'm saying? Especially when y'all are younger, especially if you're playing the same game. So how this chick, even if she likes it was written, I don't mean to call her this chick like that. She's an astounding journalist. We're going to get to some of her credentials in a minute. She actually has real credentials that are like viable and credible, unlike these two gentlemen, outside of just them being good writers. Outside of them being good writers, they don't have credentials like that. She got credentials, Mike. She is the first black female editor-in-chief of a major publication. Yes, she is. Because she became the editor-in-chief of Vibe later the next year in 1997. I can remember the letter to the editor that she wrote when she became editor-in-chief. It is one of the more inspiring letters to the editors I have ever read in my life. She's the shit. But if ever she was compromised, it's probably some dude from Queens who she's dating when they're younger, getting her to believe that it was written. She didn't like that. So when this Haitian guy from Brooklyn is sliding this across her desk, well, she's probably with it. Might even passed it over to Elliot like, hey, what you think of this? No, that's spot on. We're kind of doing the same thing over here.
What makes it feel like a script is the fact that the way these major publications approach Nas' efforts, it's textbook. Like, they'll start with Illmatic, then they'll just start tearing into things that have nothing to do with anything. Like, when I read that part where they were talking about, basically Jay-Z is the guy that Nas aspires to be, and he's outside his project window and stuff. I thought about the takeover and the way that those digs were coming, and I also thought about like the Rolling Stone article and how they just bring up stuff like like alleged abusive allegations from police and stuff, like stuff that has nothing to do with the music. And I feel like this only takes place when it comes to Nas stuff. It's amazing. It's a wild rabbit hole to go down, because when you start seeing this stuff, and I mean, people thought that we were joking when we posted that page of 25 albums of 1996, and it was written wasn't even on there. Like, that's personal at that point. LP with the super chat says, hip hop is not pop. If you call it that, then stop. Those were fighting words back then. Same as calling an 80s rapper a sucker MC. The agenda was clear. So Mr. Miller says, Steve Stout says on the Bridge podcast that him and Nas heard Lauryn Hill's ad-libs on If I Ruled the World on the score. So I asked her to do a song because they already had the idea to do the song, and it made sense because they were label mates. Yeah, I believe that too. Go ahead, Coop. I'm sorry.
No, hold on. So where were we? Where were we before the super chat?
Before that super chat, we were talking about the fact that publications seem to pull elements that have nothing to do with the music into these Nas reviews. And that's something that they've done, like, it seems like textbook over and over and over.
So can we say something? Can we talk about something very briefly and go down this rabbit hole since we're talking about it from this perspective? Hold on. And also too, when I mean Danielle Smith has credentials, like I just named some of her credentials, but also she was one of the voters for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame once upon a time. Like she's certified. She's a real journalist. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying she's a real journalist because it's like, well, I can only bring her integrity into question by maybe hearsay of who she's dealing with. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, but dealing with him and letting this article ride, well, that kind of got her out there with them today, even though I find her as a journalist to be superior to both of them, accomplishment-wise superior to both of them, and just like in terms of probably how people view her in the community, superior as well.
Well, Elliot's from Queens, right? And you know what? And I'm a fan of what Elliot Wilson has done over the years. And
Me too.
But for him to be from Queens and dump down on Nas like this consistently, it's very odd. Like,
well, that's part of what.
And like I said, the top 25 thing and him being excluded of that, especially since Ego Trip is very New York biased. It's like that right there is like personal. You're telling me that It Was Written's not a top 25 hip hop album of 1996? Come on, man.
Well, also too, this is what I mean. So this is the other part I want to unpack. I want to bring you that up. Well, it's like when somebody from your neighborhood pretty much practices yellow journalism or defamation against you. Well, it doesn't just open the door for the black publications to do it. What did you tell me behind the scenes? It opens the door for the white ones to do it.
Well, it's true. I mean, when we see the hit pieces that come out on Nas's projects, like the Pitchfork Media, Rolling Stone reviews, and all of that, they learned that from Vibe, Ego Trip, and XXL. Right. And you know what I'm saying? Like, since they already made it okay, the other publications, the mainstream publications, are like,
publications just piggyback.
They're like, oh shit, well, it's cool to dump on Nas. Let me go ahead and do it too. They did
piggyback. Yes, it's called the piggyback theory, where it's like literally, you know, monkey see, monkey do, and you piggyback off of it and do the same thing.
Well, we set the standard for our culture. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, those publications were setting the standards. And once they set that standard, it was just open fire on whatever Nas was doing. That's why Hot 97 felt comfortable doing what they were doing.
Well, this is what I mean. And here's where I don't knock Chris X for that Vibe article as much, or Danielle Smith for letting it pass across her desk for Vibe. Well, Vibe still was more of a black culture, R&B, and hip-hop magazine than a hip-hop magazine, okay?
That's true.
So Elliot is from Queens, and he is writing for hip-hop publications and involved with hip-hop publications. So really, if we want to go back to this sphere, and if how about this? If we were slicing up the pie of who's to blame for this media defamation of Nas, because that's what it is, Mike. It's defamation.
It is.
It's defamation of character, of professional character. Maybe not personal, but it's defamation of professional character.
Because like LP said, pop was a bad word in hip-hop. In that.
And hold on. So listen, two things that he tried to do. He tried to make Nas seem pop, which takes away your street cred. Nothing matters more in 96 than that.
Well, they also took a shot at his street cred when they were talking about Jay and Nas looking out his project window, hoping and wishing the day that he could aspire to be Jay-Z.
No, so listen, the Vibe and the article and Vibe that Chris X wrote kind of works that way too, because on Nas Is Coming, he talks about how, like, Nas is coming. He's like, but where is he going? He lacks vision. This isn't the same guy, like, from the Project Steps. They're trying to make it seem like he's drifting. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they talked about Nas Is Coming. When they talk about Take It in Blood, they're pretty much like, the beat is dope. I remember Chris X saying this, Nas's verbiage pistol whips you. And I never forget hearing that. And I'm like, Nas's verbiage pistol whips you. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Is that virtue signaling?
I'm like, what kind of metaphor? This is the 14th going on 15-year-old. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm a writer. I'm like, what is he? Nas's verbiage? I'll never forget that. Nas's verbiage pistol whips you. It's like, so do you like the record? Because I love me some Take It in Blood. Is he saying he likes the record? And he pretty much saying like Nas is rapping his ass off, but the beat sucks. And I'm thinking like, well, the beat's not like the best thing on the album, but it's like, it's one of the best songs on the album. Why didn't you say that? But he never really says anything is the best stuff on the album, except for, guess what? And this is what I mean about how they tried to theme it. the setup in live nigga rap, Mike. It's like, oh, well, if he does his Queens Hood shit with Havoc and with Mobb Deep, he's dope. But other than that, this new guy sucks. And it's like, I love me some setup. And you know how I feel about the setup.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Nas joints. And I do agree with them. Oh, like for me on a personal level, the setup is probably technically the song that encompasses what Nas is in 96 the most. You know what I mean? Because he's lyrical on there and he's got a storytelling game and he's spitting fire and he's spitting fast and he's spitting hard. It's great. But the rest of the album's dope, Mike. They talked about I Gave You Power like it didn't exist.
I was going to say, they omitted I Gave You Power. At least in the article I just read, they don't even talk about it. And see, the thing is, when you got a record like I Gave You Power or like a Rewind on Stillmatic,
we have to talk
those
about
are
it.
things that you got to talk about. These
You have
are
to talk about
records.
it.
These are records at the time, and I know, you know what I'm saying, they've been slightly done before with the bullet personification and all that, but the way that Nas did I Gave You Power and where he took it lyrically, we don't have a lot of points of reference before that to go on based on that record, and for that record to not even be talked about, it's like, yeah, y'all don't want to highlight anything here. LP with the Super Chat says, y'all see him post XXL cover with Nas. I'm sorry, he said, y'all see him post the XXL cover with Nas. He's seen the heat coming his way, and he tried to save face. Anybody who is a true hip-hop head knows about his bias.
No.
You know what? I'm just getting hip to the game. Because like I said, I've been a fan of Elliott Wilson. I never really really acknowledged, you know, how biased this comes across in his previous writings, man. It's nuts.
Mike, I've been a fan of what he's done overall because I understand what his contribution is, but I've always known this, and I'm one of those people. You see, and this is what I mean about like how the streets work. Oh, well, when you do shit like this, you're supposed to lay low and shut the fuck up too. You feel me?
Yeah, man. I mean, because that tweet just opened up a can of worms.
Right. No. Mike, I told you when I read that when I got out of church, it's like, oh, you want to talk about it? It's like, that's great. Because guess what? I want to talk about it too.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a whole show to it.
Hold on. Because no. Because for real, like he from Queens. He know what time it is. Shut the fuck up. And so he about to get this smoke because he should have stayed quiet. Because I'm one of the people that do know. But it's like, yeah, I like you. And I respect you, and I know what you've done for the community. So it's like, we just going to give it a pass, but you need to be quiet.
Yeah, you need to chill out.
If you want to come out and talk wild, I'm about to do you wild, because it's like, I know what you've done. Let's talk about him and his lack of journalistic integrity and the respect he doesn't deserve. You know who got Rhyme of the Year in 1995, right?
Who's that?
Redman for How High, the third verse.
Oh, okay.
The original third verse. The full third verse got Rhyme of the Year.
Over verbal intercourse, huh?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
He's not the music editor in 95, though. He's the music editor in 96. Let me tell you what happens when he becomes the music editor. You know, the year-end issue is when you do the Rhyme of the Year.
Right.
Do you know the rhyme that's at the year? You know the rhyme at the year end of 1996? You know what the rhyme is?
Probably something on Reasonable Doubt.
No, it's the third verse from I Gave You Power. But it doesn't say Rhyme of the Year. It's just the third verse from I Gave You Power. In December, when it's been out for 6 months.
And then they didn't even talk about it in the review.
He wouldn't even put it as the Rhyme of the Year when he became the music editor in The Source. I'm pretty much his staff probably forced him to post it like, no, we're picking one of the verses from I Gave You Power. He wouldn't even name it Rhyme of the Year. Redman shit for Rhyme of the Year in 1995. Mike says Rhyme of the fucking Year. When it's Nas that has the Rhyme of the Year, he wouldn't even post it. Sucker ass nigga should have stayed inside.
Super chats over here. Latoria
got
B.
all kinds of receipts.
Latoria B with the super chat says, Questlove gave Nas a pretty crappy review when it was written dropped. If you can find it, give it a read. I never understood it. I love the album though. Well, you know, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Well-Versed Sessions says, this reminds me of the hate that Hot 97 gave Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang has limited spins around the same time frame. No, and these are like two of our strongest titans. And, you know, two of New York's strongest titans. And they tried to take them out the game. Let's keep it real.
We're not done. Hold on. So, in 1996, didn't Iron Man get 4 mics?
Yep.
Okay, so he don't know what he doing. Didn't hold on, and this is what I mean about his integrity being in question. Since you want to talk, one of the sources I'm gonna tell you when I stopped respecting the source in their reviews when they didn't rate Wu-Tang Forever, because I didn't feel like it was a classic the way everybody was people talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But they had people understand you had to be outside to understand. Oh, they really had hip hop in the streets on lock like that in 1997 when people were preparing for that album.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything like if they wouldn't have given that album like 4.5 or 5 mics, which I really at the time didn't feel like it deserved, it would have been upheaval. And he caved to the pressure and didn't rate the album because his journalistic integrity now is in full question. He was the music editor of The Source when Wu-Tang Forever came out. Why do we not have an official mic rating for Wu-Tang Forever? How can you miss something like that in 1997? Sucker ass nigga shit is what's going on. And so since you want to put up little tweets when you get older and think you get a hall pass, no fam, you don't get no hall pass. I was watching you. Streets is watching. What's your homie say? Streets is watching. Blocks keep clocking, waiting for you to break. Make your first mistake.
Has he ever interviewed Nas?
I've been looking for it. Have you been able to find it?
I haven't seen an Elliott Wilson Nas interview.
I would love to see it.
Again, man, this comes across extremely personal, and
from Queens, it's very problematic that he's from Queens and then he's doing this.
Yeah, like somebody said in the chat. I think Mad Max said, man, ain't nobody from Queens gonna tell you it was written as trash. And honestly, you know what? When other artists seem to cross over, because at the time, let's be real, Big was crossing over too. Now, you want to talk about somebody who did some pop shit, right? More Money, More Problems is more pop than anything that Nas attempted. But when Big was doing it, people congratulated it. The same people that were criticizing the moves that Nas was making on It Was Written, they were congratulating Big when he was making those same steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And even, I don't even want to say like the remixes on Ready to Die because that still had kind of an edge, but I think some of the choices on Life After Death, which were well executed, they were very pop crossover choices. And Big got no slander for that. None.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, let's just be fair. It seems like when other New York MCs would go out there and have crossover success like Nas did, they'd be congratulated for that. They would not only downplay in the fact that Nas was finally moving units, but it's almost like they were damn near mad. Talking about now he can afford that car that Jay-Z drives. Like, what? What are we doing, man? They owe Nas and Mary J. Blige an apology, man.
Hold on, what is he? First of all, like, Nas is going on his second album. It's like, is Nas like super rich after Illmatic? Well, no. But is he broke? It's like, well, no.
Well, the final sentence where they said, since he still runs his own operations and puts out his own shit, Jay-Z, when all is said and done and divvied up, will probably make more money. Sorry, Nas, the world is still up for grabs. Like, what? Why are you even pocket watching like that?
Why are we talking about the money aspect of
right.
this?
Why are we talking about what this artist is making versus what this artist is making? Like, what? What are we doing? Again.
Streets is watching. Blocks keep clocking.
Again, this is all coming from this original tweet from the other day where Elliott Wilson says, it was written, was hated upon arrival. Today, many folks feel it's better than Illmatic. Hip-hop is wild, yo. Honestly, it wasn't hated upon arrival. It sold millions of records. How hated was it?
And I want Nas fans to understand this, and even people who think this is a Nas channel understand this.
Because hate is a strong word, Coop.
No.
Yeah.
This is not Jay's fault. Even if I personally feel like Jay may have had a hand in paying for certain things or the people around him, you know what I mean, for some of this happened, because that's what I keep talking about, the journalistic integrity. No, as a journalist and as a writer. And this is going on over at CNN and Fox and MSNBC for the past couple decades now, too, where the journalistic integrity has been devalued, compromised, and changed, and people are acting like they don't know what the standard is. And so this is a guy who Elliott Wilson, who has held himself as a standard bearer, and this is what I mean, he's held himself as a standard bearer. Well, he's worked for and had a major hand in Ego Trippin', The Source, and Double XL and Rap Radar. That's pretty big shit in our community, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, very accomplished.
I don't think there's a hip hop writer that has that type of resume.
Right.
That don't mean you're not a sucker, and that don't mean I don't see you. I don't give a shit about any of that if you compromise your journalistic integrity to get there. And so let's get to another thing too. Well, he wants to create something that's going to compete with The Source. So him and Chairman Mao and Sancha Jenkins start Ego Trippin', right?
Right.
Well, that folds. What do you do soon as it folds, soldier? You go start something else, or do you go to your competition that you just got done trying to take under, except they took you under?
Yeah.
Because right after Ego Trippin' goes down, where does he find himself?
XXL, right?
No, this is The Source. When Ego Trippin' goes down, he goes to The Source.
Yeah.
And so,
then it's XXL after that.
And so this is what I mean about his integrity. It's like, well, you can't even give Nas Rhyme of the Year. You can't Wu-Tang Forever. And it almost feels like you were at The Source to set up your next move. So you get to The Source in 1996, but what happens in 1999? You haven't even been there a full 3 years. All of a sudden, there's this imprint called Double XL that's popping up, and you've been slated to become editor-in-chief. Now, what I think is that the Source started falling apart right there because this man in particular was more interested in politicking his new ego tripping because he never really wanted to be at The Source. And he spent more time politicking and building out his funnel for Double XL than he did doing his fucking job as the music editor of The Source. Can we go to my favorite Jay-Z line on Imaginary Player right quick? Talk about investments. I got bail money, Double XL money. And then guess who pops up on the first cover of Double XL?
Boom.
I'm going to say less. I'm going to say less right now.
You
just put that in
now,
that.
but
Sucker niggas do sucker
money.
shit. Sucker niggas do sucker shit. You know what I mean? It's just like I see you. So it's like the whole move to The Source was a clout chase, Mike. He wasn't really there about the music. He didn't do right by those reviews from 96 to 99 either. You know what I'm saying?
I think,
Capital Punishment got 4 mics. It's Dark and Hell is Hot got 4 mics. Iron Man got 4 mics. They didn't rate Wu-Tang Forever. You pop up at the end of 99, Double XL editor-in-chief. You wasn't a good music editor, motherfucker.
And you know what? I want to say this when it comes to Jay too. It's like
whack.
People got to understand though that Big was still alive, and so it wasn't like it was just Nas and Jay and they were picking sides or anything like that. Like they could have bigged up Jay and been honest about the Nas effort at the same time. Like given that balance, because and I said earlier in the show, I do think Reasonable Doubt is a better album than It Was Written. But first of all, I think that as incredible as both of them are and what they did on their respective albums, I don't think that the reviews should have meshed them together. I think they put those reviews together to basically sow division. You know what I mean? Like they created a friction. They created this environment. Yes. Like there was no issue or anything. Like they created this friction between two of New York's Titans at the time, and again, Pac's still alive.
Jay's not a Titan
Big's
yet.
Still alive.
Jay's
not a Titan yet, but he's emerging, right? And so it's like y'all created this friction out of nothing that wasn't even there, and then as we see 4 years later, it comes to a head, and then you have even more division in New York media. You know what I mean? And honestly, man, we can kind of trace some of those things that are rooted in this into this Ego Trip article and the Vibe article.
No, with the whole nigga, you ain't living.
Yeah.
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 That's this article.
Witness it from your folks' pad. Yeah, it is this article.
Bro, this is where it's coming from. It's like Jay. I keep telling people, Jay's a head with a great memory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna probably tell you one of the happiest days of his life as an artist was reading that article that you read earlier, where his debut project, without any major distribution, is getting compared to the greatest lyricist of all time on his debut.
Yeah.
He probably remembers that article word for word in his mind. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And so when he's doing the takeover, people, this is what people have to understand. People always talk about this. The beautiful thing about the takeover when Jay's talking about Nas, and I've always told people this, well, he's talking like a fan because he was one and he's ahead. So Jay is one of the guys that's reading all these articles and these publications when they're trashing it was written and they're bigging him up. And he went right to that moment in the takeover in his mind, the same way I can go to that whole rant at the beginning of the Vibe article about where they compared it to Paid in Full, It Takes a Nations of Millions, The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, and by all means, that's literally the best 4 rap albums that come out of the East Coast in the last 10. You get what I'm saying?
Well, honestly, you know, what would be fair, right? Especially at that time. I think it would have been a lot more fair if they would have compared It Was Written to, let's just say, Follow the Leader. Like, let's do that.
No, I got something for you. 1994 and 1995 just happened. Can I submit to you? I don't know. If we want to talk lyrically, Liquid Swords, or even AZ's Do or Die. If we're talking mafioso themes, can we go to Only Built for Cuban Links, maybe? Right. If we're talking East Coast hip hop, well, OC had just dropped Jules too. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, there were plenty of places to go. There are places you could have gone. You could have went to the Infamous. You could have stayed in the Bridge and compared it to the Infamous for all I cared. You feel what I'm saying?
You and I compare things all the time, and you know what I'm saying, and we talk about sports, so obviously the height of competition is cool. Like, I love the fact that, you know, we can kind of, you know, dissect things by putting certain things side by side. But in this situation, it seemed like they were put side by side to tear down one and elevate the other, and I don't think that should have been the case. I think both of those efforts could have been praised on arrival. And really reading Elliott Wilson's tweet, it comes across as he's kind of upset that people didn't go with the narrative that they set. They set a narrative that obviously people don't agree with, because some people that I disagree with, say that It Was Written is better than Illmatic. But that just lets you know that people weren't thinking the same thing y'all were thinking about this effort. Or at least what you wrote about this effort.
And what they really tried to do, and this is, how about this? I think when I did my top 100 albums, I think I had Reasonable Doubt at 21. Mm-hmm. And I think I had It Was Written at 29. And what I'm saying, what they tried to do is that you have to understand, and this is coming along a time in a hip hop where it's like, we're almost 95% of the time, your first album is your best thing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They knew that Reasonable Doubt and It Was Written were comparable projects, because they are, Mike. And I've always told you, it's like, well, if we're going to go beat by beat, I'm still picking It Was Written. And if we're actually going...
I disagree with you, but I feel you.
Look, and we've argued about that, and I think it's close if we're talking production-wise. But I've always told you, it's like, well, if we're talking lyrically, it's don't do that, because Nas exists in a place that Jay just goes to at times on Reasonable Doubt. As in, Dead Presidents, third verse specifically, The Evils, second verse, Can I Live, verse on Regrets. No, he goes there. He's in the neighborhood. Oh, he's not Nas on It Was Written, because I don't know if Rakim on Paid in Full or Follow the Leader is Nas on It Was Written.
I've said this on this show before. 1996 Nas is probably the best lyricist I've ever heard.
Right, you said that's the best rapper ever, the best rapper
on the face of this earth. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So.
Well-versed Sessions with the super chat says, keep in mind, Nori alluded to Elliott being a sucker on Drink Champs. Elliott is the same guy that would give Memphis Bleak the same album rating as Ghostface. If you're fired and he don't like you, you get 4 mics.
Right.
LP with the super chat says, remember Dream Hampton? Said she heard reference tracks from Nas and Jay Electronica and Dead Prez that was debunked. She wrote Jay's book, LOL. Pac hates her too. I remember Dream Hampton talking about that. Yeah, she's.
I like Dream.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, you know, and again, I think that when it gets convoluted and gets problematic is when you have journalists, both on print media and, you know, visual media, who have these relationships with artists. And it's fine to have relationships with artists, but what happens is not only are you bigging up one, but you're going out your way to trash another that you don't have that relationship with.
Well, listen to what I'm saying. So here's what the real agenda was in relationship to Jay that Nas fans can point to. This does not make Jay responsible. And this is what I'm trying to say. Well, if Reasonable Doubt and It Was Written are comparable, then how is Jay ever going to surpass Nas? Because that means it's not Illmatic. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, and that's his debut, yeah.
So the goal is to make Reasonable Doubt seem far superior to It Was Written, because it puts it closer to Illmatic territory. That makes it more of a conversation. If Nas's second album, which the streets ain't feeling as much, is comparable to what people feel like is probably going to be Jay's best shit, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Then how can he ever really be? And so that's part of how this narrative changed and part of how this takes place. Because here's also what I'll tell you too. Think about this. Volume 1, It Was Written, and Reasonable Doubt all have the same rating. Why?
Miss B with Super Chat says, I believe that Nas slander comes from Nas giving the people knowledge and hope. I think the hip-hop machine wants to keep people dumb, high, and focused on shiny things. I do think that Nas's content does have a lot to do with the approach that journalists take. Just like I believe the same thing with Kanye. I believe that the reason why Kanye wasn't getting pushed into the game and was getting suppressed for the records that he had, the records that we all know as being classic now, is because of the stuff he was talking about. He was talking about uplifting things. He had songs, he had the Jesus Walks, man. Like, how do you hear that record and say, no, we're not?
So here's what I will quibble with you about It Was Written. There are some very, very fascinating thoughts and concepts on there. Mm-hmm. But as far as on the knowledge aspect, if you're really talking about kicking knowledge, Nas really isn't kicking knowledge on It Was Written like people are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, like on Take It in Blood, that's what I mean. Take It in Blood is special because on Take It in Blood, no, he's kicking knowledge on Take It in Blood. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I Gave You Power. You could take that as, him kicking knowledge, but he's kicking it in story form.
Cautionary tale.
Story format. Yeah. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Even on Take It in Blood, he's still saying shit like, my bitches, they be laughing. They high off sniffing coke off of 20 shit, Andrew Jackson. City lights spark a New York night. Rossi, hold on, what did he say? Martini and Rossi sipping, Sergio Tassini flipping. So he's talking fashion, drinks, cocaine. It's not just kicking knowledge on there, but he is also saying currency has made the trust in the Messiah. I'm spending it to get higher. Earth, wind, and fire, singing reasons why I'm up early. Trustworthy is a nine that bust early. Like, he's kicking knowledge like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's not heavy like that on It Was Written. He actually took it down on It Was Written. The knowledge is on Illmatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jay Show with the Super Chat says, Take It in Blood is Nas' best lyrical performance.
It's one of the best lyrical performances ever. And I told people, it's like, well, here's the thing with Reasonable Doubt. If you think that's Jay at his best, well, he doesn't have anything lyrically better than Take It in Blood and I Gave You Power in 96. Don't tell me that shit.
Andre Shashir with the Super Chat says, cool, post your top 100 albums again. We'll get those up.
We're me and Mike working on so many projects.
Miss LB has another one. She says, I was talking about the overall slander, not the review on It Was Written. I agree with that too.
This is the core of it, though.
This is the core, yeah. This is where it starts. This is
where it starts.
This is where it was deemed to be okay to do. Mm-hmm. Because if, let's just say hypothetically, Rolling Stone goes out there and bashes It Was Written once, the hip-hop community embraced it. People will be riding on Rolling Stone. But the fact that someone in the hip-hop community made it okay to bash this and nobody responded as we should have, then that opens up the door for any publication to say anything about it.
Hey, big is big in all of this, because I want you to understand, part of what helps Jay in this whole scheme of things is he's from Brooklyn.
Right.
And Big is the guy that's running shit in the public's eyes. Not maybe has an MC to the MCs. No, not Big. But to the public's eyes, Big. And so when Jay's coming along in that time where Big's influence is heavy, I told you, Big's 95, hit-wise, was bigger than Ready to Die. He had Juicy and Big Papa in 94, okay? In 95, he had the One More Chance remix. He had Get Money, Players Anthem, the Get Money remix. Yeah. You feel me? So those are 4 bangers right there. He only got 2 in 94. So I'm not saying Jay is piggybacking off of Big. I'm saying media-wise, they can be looking at what Biggie's doing and see Jay coming out of Brooklyn, Marcy and Bed-Stuy ain't that far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, and then Nas start looking at the outlier. Who's the poet from Queens that can't make a hit record?
Exactly.
He makes pop singles when he makes his stuff. He doesn't have street cred like the guys from Brooklyn. He's the little poet that tries to make the pop crossover hit songs because they don't know, those white publications don't know if I Rule the World samples Houdini and Curtis Blow.
And
but these black publications did, and they said nothing, and so we should light their ass on fire first.
Again, the fact that they totally ignored I Gave You Power in the review. They didn't say anything about the message either.
They don't get no credit. How can you not point?
How can you not talk about the message? I Gave You Power, Silent Murder. Like, how do you not even bring these records up?
So this is what I mean. So this is how you end up in the negative. It's like, well, you brought up Live Nigga Rap in the setup. Check. You didn't bring up the message. -1. You didn't bring up Taking in Blood. -2. You didn't bring up Shootouts. -3. You didn't bring up the travesty that is Silent Murder in 1996 being on the tape and not on CD. See, if you're a journalist, Mike, you know what Silent Murder is. The fact that they're not bringing up the fact that Silent Murder is on the tape and not on the CD.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're not doing your fucking job then.
They're doing their job. Their job is just to slander it.
No. If that's their job,
then
their job is poor, and so is their journalistic integrity, and they don't deserve their job in their positions. You feel what I'm saying? Because if your job is to slander, then you're not a journalist. You're a piece of shit. Because this is a job, because you talk about and deal with other people, your integrity matters. Like in terms of what you will and won't take, how you will deal with things, the fairness and the bias that you give. Like I walked up here and gave Black Star a 5 this year, and people was like, you need to chill. And I'm thinking like, I'm being fair. I can't stand these unrighteous ass niggas telling you that they righteous.
LP with the super chat says, LT is where he kicks most of the real knowledge. Lost Tapes. Lost Tapes is where he kicks most of the real knowledge, in my opinion. Yeah.
Do-rags. Purple. I don't like how Diddy did shine with different lawyers, or when he's explaining on the third verse how we came up making like dye and stuff from the potato liquor and like, all that. Yeah. No, that's when he's kicking knowledge. That's what I'm saying. It was written in Kicking Knowledge. Fake thug, no love. You get the slug. CB4 gusto. You luck no. But didn't know till I was drunk though. You freak niggas played out. Get fucked and ate out. That's not Kicking Knowledge.
Yeah.
That's not. Street dreams are made of these. A drug dealer's destiny is reaching a key. That's not Kicking Knowledge, fam.
Man with the super chat says, do a mock It Was Written versus Reasonable Doubt to settle it. We could do that.
You don't want to do that.
Jay Short with the super chat says, the 25th It Was Written anniversary was a lost opportunity. No Street Dreams, Affirmative Action remix, no lost tracks, one-on-one, no additional insight or interviews. They just put out that, they put out Silent Murder.
And that was enough for me. I'm okay.
That was
I'm
enough.
Okay. They put Silent Murder somewhere on the rest of the. No, I'm okay.
Because I used to have to go to YouTube to listen to Silent Murder. You know what I mean? Like,
as a high school student, I had to pay $32 for a copy from the UK for one song. I paid $32 for one song once, and I did. And then somebody stole the CD from me. It's very problematic.
You know, I was disappointed with It Was Written in the fact that I didn't get Silent Murder. I think I held that grudge on It Was Written for a long time. Like, how did I not get Silent Murder?
Here's how much of a head I was, is that I bought the CD, realized Silent Murder wasn't on there because my man Wayne, who worked at the record store with me, told me Silent Murder was on the tape because we used to get a 20% discount. So then I just went and bought the tape. Then I popped the fucking tape. And I was just like, you want to know it? It Was Written Deluxe from the UK on CD. So I had a It Was Written regular version and a It Was Written UK version with Silent Murder. Guess what copy got stolen?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well.
So Silent Murder is important.
Yeah, it is important that they gave us Silent Murder.
When niggas on the block was seeing both of your It Was Written CDs and like, oh, one has Silent Murder, one doesn't. That's the shit from Coop that I'm stealing today. Right.
Jay Short with the super chat says the biggest indictment is that this was an era where reviewers got music weeks before release dates. And the audience didn't expect immediate reaction. Yeah, I mean, we really went to these reviews because, like you said, they got advanced copies. They got time to actually sit on the record. We actually used to read these reviews not only for validation, but really recommendations too. And like Coop said, when you put in It Was Written, and your ears are telling you like, yo, this shit is dope. This dude is really taking it there. And you're reading this stuff. You're like, am I tripping or am I giving Nas the benefit of the doubt because he's Nas?
So this,
Especially
okay,
when
so
we was kids, we were looking to these journalists for, I don't want to say guidance, but yeah, affirmation that I know my hip hop because we look at you as people who know their hip hop.
So how about this? This is what I mean about how I've always kind of like been ahead and people have always come to me. Let me tell you one of the first real hip hop conversations I remember having. I was sitting at breakfast at Alexander Graham Middle School after Liquid Swords had came out. I'm sitting at the table. I'm gonna tell you who's sitting at the table. My homie Boo Boo. I seen Boo Boo on my 40th birthday. These is all West Boulevard niggas from the West Side Sharp. My homie Boo Boo sitting at the table. The twins are sitting at the table. Jared and Jairus, light-skinned twins from Little Rock. Nigga Big Tony Romeo. Tony used to do a DJ or a radio show up in Charlotte. He was the other hip-hop head from the block along with me. I stayed across the street from Boulevard Homes. He lived up in Ponderosa right up the street. We had the homie Dion. Dion's family lived on the same side of the street of the house my family lived on. We was all eating breakfast one morning. Everybody hungry as fucking, nobody saying something. Dion just looked up. He said, "Coop, he said, that Liquid Sword's better than that purple tape?" And I stopped and I just put my head down and I was like, the rhymes is good. I was like, I don't know if it feel like the purple tape. He's like, I don't think it's as good as the purple tape. I was like, I think it's close. He's like, I don't think it's close. The review from The Source came out, and it gave Liquid Swords a 4. The purple tape, it got 4.5. Dion came back, and he was like, Coop, you was right. It was closer than maybe I had thought. That's how much weight they used to have.
Their validation meant a lot, man. Like,
that's how much weight they used to have.
We used
really
to
the reality of the matter, and the reality of the matter, and keep in mind, these are still, because keep in mind, this is the year before It Was Written came out. So I'm 13 when I'm saying this. And even with that being said, it's like looking back on it, it's like, well, those are both 5 mic albums for totally different reasons, even though the purple tape is still better to me.
You know, the dream was to go out there.
Like they mattered on the block like that.
The dream was to go out there and make a 5 mic album or make an album that one would consider to be 5 mics. You know what I'm saying? Those things meant a lot, man. 007 with the super chat says, the message is one of the greatest ways to start off an album in hip hop history. Swings at Biggie. You only do that if you are the GOAT or Tupac. You know what? It's funny you say that about the message. I think I was reading. What was I reading? I was reading one of these. Oh, this is what it is. I was reading a Vibe, I guess, rehashed article about It Was Written because we can't find the original Vibe interview. Right. Not interview, but review. But when you Google Vibe and It Was Written, they have like a 20th anniversary or like a revamp or something. And they said something about in there that Nas was throwing shots at Jay with the Lexus
TV sets the minimum. Sex adrenaline. Yeah.
And you know what? And they also called It Was Written a masterpiece now. So.
Oh, well, guess what? It got called adequate on the original review. Yeah. Adequate and not as satisfying as the first. After the writer had to compare it to Paid in Full, which he came out literally, 9 years before it. The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, which came out 7 years before it. And By All Means Necessary, which came out 9 years before it.
Hold on. Did they compare that to those albums or Illmatic to those albums?
Illmatic, I'm sorry. Okay. That was how the article started. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but...
I'm just saying why.
That shouldn't even be the case. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about Illmatic when we're talking about
Well, here's the thing about it, too. This is what I mean. Well, here's where the journalistic integrity of Chris X come into play. Well, it's like, don't compare Rakim's first album to Nas' second album.
Exactly.
Compare Rakim's second album to Nas' second album.
That's what I was going to say.
See, but Mike, they couldn't have that conversation because it's like I came on this podcast and said a couple weeks ago, I believe, when I sat down and realized it's like, hold on. I'm like, It Was Written lyrically is a solo mission outside of affirmative action and live nigga rap. Like, it's just niggas singing on hooks with him. It's a solo mission. I'm like, that's like double the output of Follow the Leader. And so what I would submit to you is that lyrically, where Follow the Leader holds itself, well, Nas kind of extended that on It Was Written, and guys like him as journalists that were from Brooklyn and from Queens, they weren't ready to have that conversation about Nas maybe lyrically taking it somewhere that Rakim hadn't taken it. And I can say that respectfully because people have made me go back and listen hard to Lupe stuff for me to be like, well, lyrically he's taking it somewhere else. But here's the difference. Nas was lyrically and song-wise going somewhere else. Like Rakim has no I Gave You Power on Follow the Leader. He's got Follow the Leader. He's got Lyrics of Fury. He don't have I Gave You Power. Mike, if you're going to compare the albums, this is what I mean about how they would have to give Nas props even if they were to compare it to Follow the Leader, and that's why he chose Paid in Full. Well, what does Follow the Leader have for the setup and shootouts in terms of telling them? You get what I'm saying?
No, you're
what
right.
You gonna do?
I don't think that Nas has anything.
Nigga rap?
I would say, to play devil's advocate, does Nas have anything for Lyrics of Fury? But you could go Message
Take It in
there.
Blood.
You could go Take It in Blood. You could
go Take It in Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can go Take It in Blood. You can go right to Take It in Blood. It's on par.
LP with the super chat says that narrative carried over to the blog era. He was getting hate from the blogs from 2006 to 2012. There was a website called Smarten Up Nas. Wow. Now Nas' loss was a trend. That's crazy.
This is what I mean. So when we're talking about this narrative about Nas, since Elliott Wilson likes to sit up there and pull tweets like he's not the main person responsible.
Right.
Welcome to the main person responsible.
Well, let's open up all together. Like, if we want to have that, want to have that dialogue, then yeah, we got to start with you, Mr. Wilson. Like, yeah. We got to start with you and just see what's going on.
Mr. Ego Tripping, the source in double XL.
Yeah.
I got bail money, double XL money. You got Flash now, but time will reveal money. Where that line come from? That's 97, Mike. That's what I'm saying. That's inside track stuff when he's spitting those bars out. That dude was up there working, but he was working for Elliott Wilson to make Elliott Wilson's next move.
John Rod with the super chat says, hands doing a high five. Appreciate the high five. We got Dame over here.
I'd like to say, I want to keep.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. No,
I was just going to get to the super chat. Dame 252 says, is Street Dreams Remix the best lyrical performance on It Was Written? He got down on that shit.
He did. Still not better than Taking in Blood, Silent Murder, or I Gave You Power. It would be
lyrically though, and you know how I feel about Silent Murder. If we talk about verse for verse, he's going in on Street Dreams Remix. I don't know. Jay Short with the super chat says 3.5 mic ratings. 3.5 mic ratings could end a career back then.
Yeah,
especially for certain people.
So this is what I mean. It's like, well,
that's a lot of power, though. You know what I'm saying?
How much of a flame keeper is he? Like, how much of a gatekeeper is he? It's like, well, you gave It Was Written 4 mics. Well, you gave Reasonable Doubt 4 mics. Muddy Waters, 4 mics. Capital Punishment, 4 mics. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what the...
It's not really about the ratings, though, Coop. It's about the words.
You gave Dark and Hell Is Hot 4 mics. Mike, after I'd heard... By the time we got to song 9, I was like, this is a 5 mic album. I don't care what the rest of the album sounds like. Give him a 5 right... Give him a 5 right now. I never heard nobody come like this before.
No, for real. Like, it's Dark and Hell Is Hot is a 5 mic album.
Can we get a 5 right now? Yeah. Mike, by the time Damien went off, I was like, this is a 5 mic album. I was like, I don't know what everybody else just heard.
Listen, the versatility.
That's before How's It Going Down or Stop Being Greedy or ATF even come on. I'm like, it's a 5 mic album.
DMX did everything on that album.
He did everything.
He gave you hit records.
4. They gave it a 4. He was the music editor when they gave his Dark and Hell Is Hot a 4. You couldn't even get a 4.5 out of his Dark and Hell Is Hot. You don't know what you're talking about, fam.
Nah, that's crazy, man.
Think about it. Volume 1 and its Dark and Hell Is Hot share the same rating in the history of the source.
Volume 2 is 4.5, right?
Correct.
Yeah. There's no way in the world. And I love Jay, and I'm a Jay-Z fan, man. But yeah, it's Dark and Hell Is Hot or something else. And see, the thing is, that's not even like revisionist history stuff. It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. When it hit, everybody was on the same page. Like, this nigga is next. Yeah.
We're all on the same page.
Like, this is a classic.
We're all
It had the hit records. It had the storytelling. It had the album cuts.
Originality.
He gave originality. The flow.
Tracks, production.
The story.
Appearances.
Yeah. There was nothing that album was lacking.
Missing from that album.
Yeah.
It, like, hold on. So for me, like, it's Dark and Hell Is Hot is like, in terms of like hardcore East Coast gangster rap, it like sit next like to the Infamous.
It's like, one of the best debut albums.
It's like, for me, it's like it's the Infamous and it's Dark and Hell Is Hot, and then there's like the shit that these other niggas did that said that they was doing hardcore shit. You know what I'm saying?
Unknown Name says can't discount Payola in the 90s. Dame has admitted to paying writers and DJs.
See?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't
I'm
nothing
not
wrong with
believing
that.
that.
You know what I mean? Like that's just
No, I
part of the
told you
game.
they're ambitious.
Yeah.
They're ambitious.
Listen, man, that's part of the game, and it's all good.
Right.
I was in radio for years, and that's part of the game. I know radio people want to deny it, whatever. My only thing is, you didn't have to bash one guy to, give credit that's well deserved to another. Now, I don't know if they were trying to get Nas to pay them, and Nas never paid them. I don't know what it is,
Right.
but
See, so this is what I'm saying. See, like, dudes be shook to just say stuff. It's like, Mike, for the time that you and I were down here, around the time that you were doing radio, you and I were doing music, it's like, oh no, every major DJ on the radio down here had a price tag on it. And I wish one of these motherfuckers would make it seem like they had the type of integrity where that wasn't the case out here. You and me was really out here. There's a price tag on all these niggas. I could tell you, if you gave me a name, I could tell you who costs what still off the top of my head, but the prices probably went up because of inflation.
Right. LP with the super chat says, Jay was Jay was on the first cover of XXL with Master P in 1997. Nobody had him on the pedestal in 1997. This was always in the works between the both of them.
Think about this. In 1997 is when he made Volume 1.
Yeah.
Not Reasonable Doubt. What are you doing on the cover of a magazine after all your singles fail?
Was this after Streets is Watching, though?
Huh?
Was this after Streets is Watching, though? Because Streets is Watching gave a resurgence. I don't know which month that XXL.
Streets is Watching wasn't popping like that in the streets, Mike. It wasn't.
Thought it was.
I mean, I love Celebration. The end. Celebration's good. I mean,
Michael Williams with the super chat says, Jay's dismissing It Was Written on Takeover was also very damaging. It just reinforced this narrative of It Was Written being underwhelming.
Right, one was in. It's like one was in. It's like, well, he's out rapping you on your best album. How is his shit in?
That is a narrative.
So let's go back to the narrative. This is what I'm talking about how you get to control things. It's like, well, if his shit was in, what is Reasonable Doubt? Because they're comparable albums. So is your best album in?
Well, the thing is, though, if there weren't reviews like the ones that we just highlighted to go over and to reference to when we're talking about It Was Written, he wouldn't have been able to say those things in that way. You know what I mean? That just validated that type of talk.
Right. Well, see, here's what I'm saying. When you suck at your job as a music editor, you see, like, when you give something like, I don't know, It Was Written 4 mics, it probably deserves 4.5 or 5. And then you come along and like how about
I'll give it 4.5. It's not a 5.
It's not a 5.
Because we know what he can do.
Mike, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
How can you say that 96 Nas is the best rapper or the best lyricist ever, and this is the performance that you're talking about, and it not be a 5? What's keeping it from being a 5 for you? No, I'm asking. I'm not like being funny. I really want to know.
No. I'm answering. It's the songs. I think that when we talk about, and I hate to go to Illmatic when we're splitting hairs here, we can go to any other great album too, but the song making isn't at that level. Okay. Even though his raps are, and it's kind of like what you were saying with Lupe, man, where it's like, sometimes to make a great record or individual songs, you might have to tone down some of that, crazy lyricism. And I think that Illmatic was just that perfect blend of that. He was clearly a better rapper on It Was Written, but the songs aren't better.
Okay, so here's what I would submit to you. Is the Blueprint better than It Was Written?
I think so, yeah.
Pull the songs up. I bet you it's not. See, because everything that you're saying about the Blueprint has more of those holes than It Was Written does. Because It Was Written has Nas Is Coming, Black Girl Lost, and Watch Them Niggas. Now go pull up the worst 3 songs from the Blueprint and think about what you're saying. I'm just giving that to give you some context.
I think the funny thing about the Blueprint, and I know we've talked about this before, and like in reference to it and B and it and Supreme Clientele, I think that its holes are lows, right? Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga and those records, those are lows, but the high points are super high.
Say the same thing about It Was Written. That's why I'm comparing the two. They're that's what I'm saying. Like Jay's best 2 albums are actually comparable to Nas's second best work, not his first one. So it's like when you're saying the highs are high, you mean stuff like, I don't know, I gave you power, or take it in blood, or live nigga rap. Like
Well,
the
I
highs
think
are
that
super high. Right. It's
The
the same
Blueprint
thing.
is Jay's second best album, where I think It Was Written is probably Nas' second best album, right?
That's why I'm bringing it up. See, this is what
Well,
I'm
we
saying.
could
See
go
what I'm saying?
song for song. We can go track for track.
Yeah, we can go track for track. It's about to be all bad for you, though.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Michael
all bad.
Holmes
You don't wanna
says
do that.
Cool G Rap and Nas versus Kane and Biggie. Yeah, that would be crazy. Let's see. Cinematic 06 says, that's why Nas made Hate Me Now, due to all of the hate that he was getting after It Was Written. This is true.
These are tracks.
007 says, It Was Written as 5 mics. Mike, you are comparing Nas to Nas, comparing Nas to the field. That's why he's the GOAT.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're saying It Was Written. Okay, so Mike, the same thing that you're saying, these writers need to stop. And I'm saying this respectfully. The same reason that you're saying that these albums from Nas aren't 5, well, you're saying it for the same reason these writers are. You're saying it because it's not Illmatic. Not all 5s are created the same. And so what
It's true, but I mean, I don't want to say like it's not Illmatic. Okay. I'm just saying Illmatic is the standard when it comes to song making.
You think It Was Written is Nas' second best album, okay? Correct?
It's between that and Stillmatic. It's very close.
Okay.
Braveheart Party might keep it away from that.
Okay, so what you're saying, so essentially what you're saying is the guy who you deem is the greatest MC of all time only has 1 5 out of 5 album. That's what you're saying when you're saying that, though. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, how is what you're saying different than what the journalists are saying? You're kind of
inaccurate.
You're not being as harsh as the journalists are, but you're still judging it on the same level. Illmatic, I look at Illmatic the way I look at It Takes a Nation to Millions, the way I look at Doggy Style, the way I look at The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. It's like, oh, well, you're not making that again.
It's a one of one.
It's a one of one. So if you're just drudging It Was Written on hip hop standards, what I'm telling you is It Was Written, like Reasonable Doubt and The Blueprint have more inconsistencies song-wise than It Was Written. We can pull it up, Mike. That's what I'm saying. So it's
let's go to The Blueprint real quick.
I'm about to say, so if you think The Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt is a 5, It Was Written is a 5 because Illmatic is somewhere.
I don't think The Blueprint's a 5. And I only say that because I didn't feel like no.
Hot take.
Right. I mean, here's my reasoning, right? I don't think Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga, Ola Ovito, and Renegade are 5 songs.
Okay.
This is the thing. This is the thing, right?
Have to be a 5 out of 5.
Let me put this in context. And like you said, all 5s aren't created equal. The album that got 5 mics before The Blueprint was Aquemini. And that's standard. No, Fix was after The Blueprint.
You're right. Okay.
Fix was 02. So the album that got 5 mics before The Blueprint was Aquemini. So that was like fixated in my head as like, yo, you got to make the perfect album.
So Illmatic was the last one before that, Mike.
Huh?
So Illmatic and Aquemini, you understand that after 1994, only 2 albums got 5 mics. That was Aquemini and Illmatic.
No, Life After Death got it. But that's hard to count that, right?
I don't count that.
Yeah. Mike 100 with the super chat says, "Don't dodge, Coop, Mike. Don't dodge, Coop, Mike. Compare the songs, bro." No, we about to do it.
No, I'm just
Andre
saying.
Shashir says It Was Written is better than The Blueprint.
So listen to what I'm about to say. So what if I told you? So what if I even told you, Mike, that reading all this media and this journalism stuff even affected the way that you're rating things right now?
I was thinking the same thing. I think
it has. Yeah, I'm saying it respectfully because what I'm saying is that in your mind, this is what I mean about how it made me question It Was Written. Because when I listened to It Was Written, it's like, well, It Was Written is better than Reasonable Doubt if you take the impact from Reasonable Doubt out. If you just go song for song, It Was Written is better. Now, even when I'm rating them, that's why I have Reasonable Doubt at 21, but It Was Written at 29 because the impact of Reasonable Doubt is so heavy. But if we're talking song for song, album for album, they're both 5s. They're just 5s created differently. Reasonable Doubt and The Blueprint have more gaps than It Was Written. They do. Because if Nas is coming and Watch Them Niggas and Black Girl Lost are your bottom 3 songs, Jay's in trouble. Because you got to put Jigga That Nigga and Hola Ho Vito up against Nas is Coming and Black Girl Lost. Can you say L?
Let's do it. I got to charge my phone.
Hold on. Listen to this. Hold on. You're going to put Coming to Age of Black Girl Lost. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's real.
Right.
Coming of
It's like,
age
come
does
on,
not
dude.
stand a
Like that
chance
beat the
on that.
Cashmere Thoughts. I love the way Jay's rhyming. He's not rhyming better than Nas is rhyming on Watch Them Niggas on Cashmere Thoughts.
Well, you know
I didn't
what?
even
Let's
I didn't
line them
even
up.
love
You got it was
hold on,
written
hold
in
on.
front of you?
I'm gonna tell you something else too. I didn't even love the fact that they gave Jay-Z Rhyme of the Month for Cashmere Thoughts and skipped over the Evils and the Dead Presidents version.
Me too.
That happened while Elliott Wilson was there too. Maybe these niggas do these niggas need Q-tips?
Shout
You
out to my
know,
man Q-Tip. The L Web 100 says, "Are we counting the Lost Tapes as a studio album? Because that's definitely his second best album."
we're not going there yet, fam. We're not going there yet. We're
I
not bringing
think
the Lost
you
Tapes
gotta
into this.
count. You gotta count Lost Tapes as a studio album, but I still
But
think
the
it was
Lost Tapes
written.
don't have features. It was written as features.
Yeah.
The Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt has features. I told you, man, his rhyme performances on Illmatic, Lost Tapes, it was written. It's like, well, you're not gonna find that because those are solo missions outside of literally like these between those three albums, these are the guest verses you get. You get AZ on Life's a Bitch, you get AZ, Foxy Brown, and Cormego on Affirmative Action, and you get Havoc and Prodigy on Live Nigga Rap. On those three albums, the rest of that is Nas. That's the best rhyme shit ever for one MC.
I love Live Nigga Rap. And when you open up that booklet for It Was Written, and you see all of those words, like so many verses. For the people who didn't have the CD back in the day. But yeah, when you get that CD and you open up that book, it's like, damn, this is a lot of rhymes.
Man, Projects is like Kuwait. Yeah.
IMC Simon says It Was Written is better than the Blueprint. Okay, you guys are saying It Was Written is better than the Blueprint.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Jay's best shit is like Nas's second or third best shit. This is why I've always said Nas is better, because Jay's best shit is like Nas's second or third best shit. But let's go.
Man with the super chat says Nas got 3 5 mic albums, 4.5,
maybe
some 4.5s, and a few 4 mic albums.
I mean, I think he's got. I mean, depending on how Magic is going to rate and how Magic is going to fall, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, truthfully, if you were to hear me call it, how about this? If we're counting the version of Stillmatic that came out without Braveheart Party, well, he's got 4 5s in my opinion, because he does have Illmatic, It Was Written, The Lost Tapes, and Stillmatic. Those are 5s. Those are 5s. And Magic might be a 5. So in my mind, he might have 5 5s. But I'm a fan, so I try not to be biased, but I'm taking at least 3 of those.
That's
to the
a
bank.
lot. I'm cool with you taking 3.
But hold on. But I'm taking Illmatic Lost Tapes, and It Was Written like to the bank with me. Magic doesn't have any gaps, Mike. Magic doesn't have any gaps unless you want like some big hit record. Like it doesn't have a What's My Name or a Get At Me Dog. Like that's pretty much like all the album like that is missing. Not all 5s are created the same. Pray for Paris doesn't have a song like that either. Neither does Alfredo.
LP with the super chat says Mike used to have the same opinion as Elliot. LOL. You know what? I don't want to say I had the same opinion, but I think that my opinions about Nas have been framed by a lot of these reviews over the years. Until I really start digging into, well, I mean, obviously I knew the music, but just start digging into the narratives that a lot of these articles are putting out there. And I'm like, this isn't a fair take in the same way that we actually look at other artists in the takes that we have on them for their sophomore, third, fourth albums. It seems very biased when it comes to Nas. But no, I think that I never bought that take about Nas being the worst beat picker. Like, I always thought, I mean, the man has so many great beats in his catalog. I know a whole lot of artists that we could give that title to, and they don't have a Nas's Like or a Made You Look in their beat catalog selection.
No, not even that.
Or the stuff that's on Illmatic.
Well, see, here's the thing. Nas isn't a bad beat picker. Okay, styles make fights. Some of the beats don't fit him. Like, I'll give you an example of a dope-ass beat that doesn't fit him. Uchi Wally. No, that beat banging. I don't care what you tell me. Uchi Wally's a great beat.
Yeah. I remember hearing that beat before hearing the song. Like, you remember that MTV show, DFX?
I already know. Yep.
They used to play that shit in the background. I was like, whatever beat that is, that shit's hard.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that beat crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, look. Mohsen Talib wanted that beat.
Yeah, I heard about
crazy. That. I'm about to say, that ain't just like some hit record beat. No. That's an MC beat right there. It's like an MC hear that, and he's like, what's that? Give me that. And see, here's the thing about it, too. Nas was at the point, money-wise, that he could outbid niggas for a beat like that. So it was almost like he took that beat because he could afford that beat. He couldn't afford that beat before. You feel what I'm saying? But how, like Uchi Wally, let's just go to the Primo stuff. How you gonna say he's a bad beat picker with the Primo stuff? You don't like New York State of Mind? Memory Lane? Can I interest you in Nas's like? Can I interest you motherfuckers in rhyming over Nas's like? You feel what I'm saying? So it's like when cats be saying it, even you want to know a beat that I like, even though he didn't do a good job with it? Mike, The Flyest is a dope beat.
Mm-hmm.
The beat to The Flyest is dope. It's just not for Nas. It's not the beat that's a problem. That beat doesn't fit that artist. That don't mean the artist is whack. That don't mean the beat is whack. That mean it don't fit. This is
The
about
Flyest.
killers.
You ain't talking about the record with it's on Stillmatic with AZ, right?
No, The Flyest, Charlie's Angels.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, where you got the Indian girl sample singing the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that beat dope.
007 with the super chat says Illmatic, it was written Stillmatic, Lost Tapes, KD2, Magic are all 5s. You know, I'm not mad at the KD2 and Magic thing. I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. No, Mike, he got a lot of...
Especially KD2. I think KD2 from let's just say KD2 came out in place of I Am. I think he would have got very, very favorable reviews.
Good Lord.
Like if it was his third album?
No. How about this? All the other top guys, they don't have as many borderline 5s, even if you feel like it's not a 5. See, there are people, like you see that list he just ran down? Well, there are legitimate people who feel that way. You can't do that with Jay's catalog. Like here's the thing. People may think 444 is great. Nobody thinks that's a 5 out of 5.
I think the 5 that you can argue. I think the 5 that you can argue are Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, The Black Album, American Gangster in Volume 2.
No, I don't think you can argue American Gangster in Volume 2 is 5s.
You can't argue American Gangster's a 5? I think it can be argued that if somebody thinks that The Lost Tapes is a 5, in the same way that you could think that's a 5, I could see American Gangster getting that consideration.
Can I say something to you?
Go ahead.
In all seriousness, the reason that I don't consider to be like American Gangster lyrically is not like that, Mike. It's a dope album, and I love me some American Gangster, to be honest with you. Like his last great run of songs to me, where I was like, oh, that's a classic, that's a classic, that's a classic, that's a classic. That's track 6 through 9 on American Gangster. That's Rock Boys, Sweet, I Know, and Party Life. Mm-hmm. Oh no, Home Run, Home Run, Home Run, Home Run. Lyrically, where is he at? That's not 5.
I think lyrically he there, man. He's killing on there.
What's the best verse on there, Mike? And spit it out.
I think the best verse on there, the first one that comes to my mind is on America Dreaming. Like Surviving Droughts, I Wish You Well. How sick am I? I wish you will.
Right.
I wish you wealth. I wish you insight so you can see for yourself. But no, you know what? I'm going to go to another one. I'm going to go to another one.
No, I have a piggyback question off of that. You see where his best verses are on this album? Well, those aren't the best songs.
Well, I don't know. I think that they're all actors looking at themselves in the mirror backwards, can't even face themselves, don't fear no rappers. They're all weirdos, De Niro's in practice, so don't believe everything your earlobe captures. It's mostly backwards, unless it happens to be as accurate as me and everything said in song you happen to see. Then actually believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, even if it's spat by me. And with that said, I'll kill niggas dead. Cut niggas short, give you wheels, legs. I'm a K.I. double up.
Name the 5 best songs on American Gangster, Mike.
What's that?
Name the 5 best songs on American Gangster.
Man, I'm a big fan of the Rock Boys.
Okay.
I go Rock Boys, Party Life. Ignorant shit's crazy to me.
Mike,
I know you're not a big fan of that. Sweet.
No, you're just speaking and breathing in the life why it's not a 5. I can go compare that to his other 5s, and it blows that shit out the water. It's not a 5. If we go to the best 5,
not all 5s are created equal.
Mike, if we go, let forget The Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt. You talking about American Gangster might be a 5? No, nigga. Let's go to the Black Album. Let's go to Threat.
I agree with you. Now, if we're talking about, because the thing is with American Gangster, as dope as it is, he's doing something that I don't want to say that he's not known for. But no, this is the thing. Like, he's so known, especially in that time period, to make hits. And so all those other records you're talking about, they got the bangers that American Gangster just doesn't have. That doesn't
I ain't talking about the bangers. I'm talking about the bar work, Mike. The problem with American Gangster is that it doesn't have the high-level bar work consistently that his other classics have. The Black Album, Mike, Threat. He doesn't have anything lyrically on there that beginning to end was like Threat. Not beginning to end. Not all 3 verses, Mike. Not all 3 verses. No. He doesn't have one thing on American Gangster that lyrically, by himself, from beginning to end, verse 1, 2, and 3 is like Threat, okay?
The Rock Boys.
That's not Threat, Mike. Like castor oil, I cast the Troy. You change your face, but the bullets change all that for you. Y'all niggas is targets. Y'all garages for bullets. Please don't make me park it in your upper level. Valet a couple strays from the 38 special, nigga. God bless you. He don't have shit like that on American Gangster. Stop that.
Dumb it down
That's
with the super chat says, this is why we shouldn't give credit to things like impact or sales or numbers and all that. All that's marketing and brainwashing. We should just rate the music only. I'm with that. And that's why the people are here to help us with that. Because, you know, you take out all of the BS. Jay Short says, it was written, made me realize I couldn't be a rapper.
So hold on. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is like, well, he doesn't have anything lyrically like Threat. But Mike, he don't have no PSA on there either. Or no 99 Problems. Or My First
I'm
Song.
not a big fan of 99 Problems like that, but I
keep on trying to... listen to what I'm trying to tell you. For all of y'all that love some Jay, y'all need to love 99 Problems because it's one of his most diversified big songs. He's in storytelling format. Mike, all his literary...
Conversational.
You want to talk about some literary devices on fire with a conversational flow and he's telling a story? No, Mike, you may not love 99 Problems. I think you don't love the beat, but as far as him, Mike,
no, he's doing this thing on there. No, it's another one of those songs where it's like, it's one of those songs that I'll give respect to, but I'm not a big fan of.
The mic performance on 99 Problems is better than the mic performance on PSA and on My First Song and on Lucifer.
What about What More Can I Say? Or Allure?
Notice I didn't say Allure. Last verse to What More Can I Say?
Yeah,
how about this? 99 Problems.
That's the best verse on the album, in my opinion.
Well, the last verse on What More Can I Say?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Ooh.
The Martha Stewart is far from Jewish, far from a Harvard
student. I don't know, Mike. Pick a verse off Threat. I think it might be that second verse on Threat, Mike. I think it's that second verse on Threat.
The Martha Stewart is far from Jewish, far from a Harvard student, but just had the balls to do it. I'm just EQing it. Niggas got a problem, Houston. What up, B? They can't shut up me. Shut down.
Shut up,
Yeah.
God forgive me for my brash delivery. But I remember vividly what these streets did to me.
So picture me letting these clowns
trying to paint me like a pickaninny. That was the best bar on the album. Picture me.
I would literally kiss TT in the forehead.
Yeah. No. That third verse is there. Hold on, Mike. You making me pull up the lyrics to Threat because I haven't listened to Threat in such a long time.
You know another verse I really like too? It's on a song that doesn't seem like it would be that lyrical. The second verse on Change Clothes is crazy.
It is. He is to the East Coast what Face is to you. Like that whole part.
That right. All you can rebuke the movement. You know what I'm saying? With the Afro Puffs line.
How about this? He's one of the king of the flows. That's one of his best flows ever is that verse you're talking about. That's one of his best flows. I agree with you.
Yeah, he's rapping crazy on the Black album, man.
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm sitting here thinking about Dirt Off Your Shoulders. I'm thinking about Dirt Off Your Shoulders, the running back, get it? Yeah, I can run it back because I'm straight with the rock and all that stuff.
No. That's how it goes. Grown man, I put hands on you. Lay out blueprint. Right. Talking about you rap pat niggas, let Sam Tat dance on you. The Sinatra shot you, goddamn you. Mike, he's got consonants, dissonance, assonance, alliteration, metaphor, simile, literary devices. It's in 2 bars. It's all right there. Don't tell me American Gangster is that. He doesn't even have a bar on American Gangster like the shit he's doing on Threat. Or what more can I say?
I can't argue with that. You're right.
It's not a 5. American Gangster is not a 5.
Andre Shashir with the super chat says, a lot don't like Salon Remy other than Made You Look.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's like, it's either submit or they knock it all the way out the park.
Made You Look is the gem of his catalog.
Of course. I mean, as it would be for most people.
Unquestionably. I mean, it's a gem of anybody's catalog, not named like Dr. Dre or RZA or Premier.
Right. The L Web 100 says, KD2 isn't a classic. I'm taking Godson and Life is Good over it. Are we going to have that conversation again, y'all?
No, we're not. We're not discussing those 4s and borderline 4.5s when we're talking about 4.5s and 5s.
LP with the super chat says,
back down there.
LP with the super chat says, word for word, Lost Tapes is one of the best lyrical displays ever. Real life rhymes, replayability, personal, educational, relatability, and a thoughtful man's album. Mike 100 says, Mike Braveheart Party is a low, but intro, ether, Aren't You the Man, One Mic, Rewind, What Goes Around Comes Around are extremely highs, my guy.
Right.
They are.
Right.
And that's why for a long time I had Stillmatic at number 2 because the highs are just so high. But
the highs on Stillmatic are higher than the highs on It Was Written, but he's not a better MC.
Nobody is a better MC.
That's what I'm saying. So how about this? You know what Stillmatic is? Stillmatic is letting you know that the guy on It Was Written is still alive.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's like that guy is alive. It's like, no, that guy is alive. Like, he can rap like that. What goes around is the best rap that year. Like, the best verses that year are what goes around, actually. Like, this nigga Ike with the Iverson jersey, light skin with herpes, fucking bitches in Harlem, Brooklyn, and D.C. This is the problem, because he never telling me got it from sucking fags off at Rikers Island in 9-3.
Hey, watch the F words on YouTube. Watch the F words on YouTube.
I'm sorry. Those are the words. No, that's how he spit it.
I know, the algorithm, the algorithm.
Drives a Benz, hangs at all the party, and bitches' faces like clockwork. What's your name? Where you from? Chang blinging, thinking girls everywhere is dumb, taking pride in ruining their lives so they can never have babies and they can never be wives, never use a condom. Oh, man, he's crazy on there. Don't nobody even rap like that no more, including Lupe, because that shit is pointing at subject matter that affects the black community. You got to still stay connected.
DJ Bruce Almighty says, Pray is lyrical. I agree with that. I think Pray is lyrical. That's on American Gangster.
Track 4?
Nah, it's like the intro.
2? Oh, yeah, Hello song? Brooklyn is 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Pray is dope. I like Pray more than I like everything around Pray until Rock.
I like American Dreaming a lot.
I don't, Mike. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Jay Short with the super chat says, best production, best lyrics. That's why isn't the Black Album his best album?
It's not cohesive enough. It doesn't feel the way. First of all, it's not important, as impactful, and doesn't feel the way Reasonable Doubt does, and it doesn't have the brilliant and great soulful feeling that the Blueprint does. But if you prefer the Black Album to the Blueprint, I'm not going to knock you, but it's not better than Reasonable Doubt.
If you prefer the Black Album to Reasonable Doubt, I understand that too. I mean, I don't. Reasonable Doubt's my favorite, but I think that it's a time capsule too, in a sense where if you came up around the time that the Black Album came out, I couldn't fault somebody for feeling like that's his best album. Because the vintage sounds of Reasonable Doubt sonically and just where production is, it sounds...
No, I get what you're saying.
Era. It doesn't say. I'll put it this way: it's so different than everything else that he's ever done. If you became a Jay-Z fan based on what you heard on the radio and all of that, I could see the Black Album being your favorite.
So how about this?
Because he did all those things on the Black Album.
I think Guru said it best. I forget which track it is. I think it's "Tell 'Em Why You're Here" on the Moment of Truth, or "Let 'Em Know Why You're Here." I forget the name of the record, but he says. And I've used this reference when it comes to Jay and Nas specifically all the time. He ended the verse by saying, sometimes I come off the top of the dome and spit a verse that's better than the next man's whole album. Okay? So Reasonable Doubt is Jay's album where he has moments on there, Mike, that blow other people's shit out the water. So it's like, I don't care about those time, date, and sound and samp stuff.
No, I feel you.
When an MC performs like that on the mic, to be honest with you, how about this? That's what got me upset when people were like, oh, I don't listen to that old Rakim stuff. It's like, no. Don't tell me that shit, because he's got like a verse or two that's better than like whole years worth of material from certain rappers, and you need to hear it. And what I would submit to you is on Reasonable Doubt, more than all of his other albums, Volume 1 being closest, where he has those moments where it's like, well, that's better than everybody else's album. Case in point, verse 3 on Dead Presidents, the Evils, Can I Live? You know what I'm saying? It's like, no. He's better than almost everybody who ever lived outside of like 5 or 10 guys on those records. And those are moments that you cannot ignore or ever discount their highlight moments. It's like, no, do Barry Sanders have a lot of 20-yard runs? It's like, yeah, but how many 50, 60-yard runs he has? Not as many. You remember those 50, 60-yard runs more. That's why I bought up. Remember I was bringing up that Tampa Bay game? Mm-hmm. I bought up that Tampa Bay game because he broke 2 50-yard runs in that game. And I'll never forget, I was like, that defense has never given up 2 50-yard runs in the 5 years I've been watching them play. They just gave up 2 to that guy today.
He's different.
So like, right. So it's different. So it matters. So like dead presidents, politics as usual, the evils cannot live. No, them is like 50, 60, 70-yard runs. Regular running backs don't do that. Regular running backs run for 5, 10, 15, 20 yards. When you got somebody that can run for 50, 60, 70 yards, the shit hit different when they run that way. Nas is the prime example of that. Rewind. It's like, did that nigga just run for 90 yards? It's like, oh, shit. It's like I knew he could still do it. I hadn't seen it in a couple of years, but it's like I know he was still good for one of those, you know?
Free says, Blueprint 3 aging worse than Obama's legacy. Yeah, wow.
It's very problematic.
Latoria B says, let's get to the It Was Written Blueprint breakdown. It was written
right.
in a landslide.
Like,
I love this channel. We love you too. T Nitty with the super chat says, Black Album on the same level as Illmatic. It was written and Reasonable Doubt. Nah. We're going to get to this. Let's get to the, let me get to this last super chat and then we'll get to the song for song. DJ Bruce Almighty says, don't sleep on ignorant shit either. I agree.
I like B. Siegel's verse.
I don't understand why you don't like ignorant shit like that. Like, that was actually,
so
like, I remember hearing that song during Jay's retirement and I was like, yo, man, this nigga's spitting. I remember hearing this around like 2005, actually.
He's just spitting because it's Siegel on there and he's intimidated.
No, Siegel wasn't on there. Like, no, the original one that I was hearing in 05, it was just him. They threw Siegel on there.
Right. Thanks for throwing him a bone. You already did enough to detriment. Anyway.
Are we ready?
No, hold on. I want to say this about American Gangster is that how you feel about American dreaming and about ignorant shit, that's actually how I feel about Say Hello. So actually, yeah, Say Hello is my shit. So actually, give me those 4 records, 6 to 9, Rock Boys, Sweet. Sweet's my favorite. Sweet's my record. Sweet's the best shit.
I think the Rock Boys is perfect, man. Like,
I think Sweet's better because Sweet is more into the hustle or who he is. I'm Hyman Roth. I made all my partners rich. I can't vouch for you if you ain't a part of this. Pardon me as I parfait my wrist, as I parlay my chips. Yeah.
No, I love Sweet.
Alliteration. Consonants, literary devices out the ass. Okay.
Darren Harris said, "Did we skip over his super chat?" No, let's. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Are you ready?
I'm not in the chat. Yeah, I'm not in the chat, so I haven't read anything, so I don't know.
Let me see. Darren, where's your super chat at?
Yeah.
Let us know again, man, because the super chat.
I'm on chat. I'm on chat hiatus, so he's gonna have to. Yeah.
No, I don't see it, Darren, but send it and I'll read it. You know what I mean? You don't have to super chat again for it.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm pulling up at the end of shows and the chats. That's it. Go ahead.
The ruler's back. You want to put that up against the message or?
Well, I mean, you lost, Mike. So you lost. So you lost the first one.
Okay, hold on. Let me keep.
You're gonna lose a whole lot. It's all bad. People don't be wanting to go. See, I'm gonna tell you. You want to know who's responsible for me doing this? When every time I was like, pull the songs out, it's Jay. I told you I got the advanced copy of Volume 3 when I worked at the record store. He said, pull your CDs out. Let's go song for song.
Yeah.
I'm the illest nigga doing it till you prove me wrong. I'm like, you're not the illest nigga. Let's pull the songs out.
Take over.
Over what? Street Dreams?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yep. Izzo.
I gave you power. Right. So
we'll go with I gave you power.
Mike, it ain't like I will go with it, Mike. Mike, it's not a conversation. It's not even.
Darren, send us something in the chat because I want to read what your super chat was. Girls.
Watch them niggas.
Girls. Got that.
I agree with you. I love me some girls. Actually, it's one of my favorite records on the Blueprint. It's a story. The literary devices are great.
It's incredible, man. Jigga that nigga. Jigga.
Take It in Blood.
Take It in Blood gets that.
Take That Ill.
You don't know.
Silent Murder. If we're going off the original version of the
We're not going off the...
I can't use Silent Murder?
Sure. That's still You Don't Know. It is what it is, and I love Silent Murder.
If that's the case, I'm gonna move Silent Murder back to the
Oh
bonus
man, you
tracks.
can't do that.
We're using Nas Is Coming. No, because It Was Written wasn't on the CD.
It wasn't. Okay, so Nas
So
Is
Silent
Coming.
Murder's on the bonus track on the back end, like lyrical
Yeah,
exercise.
that's what I
and the
thought.
Girls,
That's
Girls,
what I
Girls
always
remix.
thought.
That's fine. You can have.
I don't know why you try to just pull Silent Murder out and put it at number 6. So.
I don't know. I was gonna try to slide it in. Silent
Right.
Murder. It's sort of like the conclusion, the color purple.
All right, so
Niggas
it's
is
3-3 right now.
Yeah.
Hola,
Doesn't get better
Ovito.
for you.
Hola, Ovito.
Like I said, it doesn't get better for you. I'm on affirmative action.
Yeah, that's affirmative action.
Right.
Heart of the
Here's
city.
where we're about to fight. Here's where we're about to fight.
Heart of the city.
The setup.
Heart of the city.
It's not.
It is, man. And
Let
I
the
love the
people
setup,
decide.
man. Don't do that, man. Come on, man.
I guess.
Come on, man.
I don't like that at all. That's very problematic. Go ahead.
I know it
Go ahead.
hurts to lose that one, but that's Heart of the city.
That's
Never
very
change.
problematic. You can have that because that's Black Girl Lost right there, I believe.
Never change. Boom. Song Cry.
Suspect. I like
That's
Suspect
Song
better than
Cry,
Song Cry.
man. And I
Okay.
like Suspect, but that's Song Cry.
Okay, Mike, go ahead. Go ahead.
All I Need.
That's Shootouts, Mike.
That is Shootouts.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Nah, can't have that one. Renegade.
Live nigga rap
That's easy.
for you, right?
The Blueprint. Mama Loves Me.
Mike, If I Ruled the World's better than Mama Loves Me.
It is. This is true.
It is.
Lyrical
So what was that?
Exercise.
Mike, well, I guess I got to go to Silent Murder right
You gotta
there. And
go
that's
to Silent Murder now.
So we have to stop right there because I don't have any more information to feed you.
Well, I
even though you
mean,
got
the
girls
other
lyrics.
one that I have left is Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2.
But where is
So-
it at right there with the Silent Murder?
Where it's at with that?
Hold on,
It
can I
was
tell you
written
something?
8 to Blueprint 6.
Hold on, can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I love lyrical exercise.
I know you do.
Hate it. And lyrical exercise, actually, after You Don't Know, in Heart of the City, and All I Need is actually my favorite song. Those are my favorite records. But Silent Murder is just better than lyrical exercise.
Oh, it is. It
and
is.
so what was it? It was 8-6.
So it turned out to be 8 to 6. It was written.
That's what I'm saying, Mike.
And I think
So
that It Was Written just finished a lot stronger because at one point Blueprint was up 6 to.
think about it though. Think
I
about
think it
this
was up
though.
6 to 5 or something.
Hold on. Think about this. I lost the setup and Suspect.
As you
And-
should have.
No, not the setup. I mean, you get what I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is,
I mean,
is
to
that-
these songs, that's Heart of the City,
This is
bro.
what I'm trying to say. It Was Written is so great that I can lose something like the setup and still beat the Blueprint song for song.
That's crazy.
That's pretty special. That's what I'm saying. And so back to what I was saying about how I have It Was Written in Reasonable Doubt, which is Jay's best album, very comparable, Mike. And I have Reasonable Doubt slightly ahead of It Was Written because I think the same way that it went 8-6, it might go like 7-6 the other way, Reasonable Doubt side. You want to do Reasonable
You want
Doubt
to do
right
Reasonable Doubt? I was just about
Yeah,
to say.
no, because I think it may flip a little bit. You feel me?
We'll do Reasonable Doubt. Hold on one second.
But it's close, Mike. It's close, Mike.
It might be.
It
I
is.
got my
Closer than-
phone in like airplane mode, so that's why it's taking.
Oh, Mike, I know the track listings to both albums. Off the
I
top
do
of
too,
my
but I
Right.
just want to.
You don't need no airplane.
I
mode.
really
You know the
don't.
track listing to Reasonable Doubt. Come on, can't knock the hustle. Politics as usual.
Right.
Brooklyn's
I
finest.
listen
Their
to this
presidents
album in my
feeling it.
sleep.
The Eagles, 22 twos.
Right.
Can I live? Ain't no nigga.
Jay Short says, "Whoa, watch them niggas lyrics, especially on the first verse." Okay.
I was thinking the second verse.
Yeah.
Doing 90 on the Franklin Roosevelt, no seatbelt, drinking and thinking. My man caught a bad one, son. Niggas is frightened. Secret indictment says on the one, secret enlightenment. Mama
All right,
Votto
I think
says, look, he said Mama Votto says 7, the God hour. That's if you follow. You know what I thought about?
crazy.
You know what I thought about? Here's what I mean about how you imitate life, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I drive Infinities and I wear Movado watches. Prodigy and Nas, Mike. Infinity Q45 96. Jay and Nas talking about rocking a Movado. I'm wearing a Movado right now. It's my regular watch. My gold Movado is the watch. That's my regular watch. I got a black one that I wear on the backup. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff carries over, man.
It carries. That's why I was like, when you were talking to Jay stuff, I was like, are you sure you're not influenced by it? Because when I was going back and listening to P talking about how I'm trying to push an Infinite, What Nas talking about? If I rule the world, I push a Q45 Infinite. It's like that was the first car that I bought when I had some money, Mike. I bought the Q45, Mike. I bought the 95, 96 edition Q45 that my niggas was talking about. Like whip they was pushing. I bought it because I grew up listening to talk about how much they love the car. It affects you.
Yo, Jay Short said Girls, Girls, Girls 2 versus Street Dreams remix. Well, that's Street Dreams remix. And if we want to go there...
Street Dreams remix. You want to talk about some literary devices on a remixes, though. You want to talk about some literary devices on remixes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You want to go Reasonable Doubt?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Can't Knock the Hustle. That's
the message.
That's over the message, to me.
So hold on. Do you think Can't Knock the Hustle is better than the message?
I do.
I think that's a wash, so I would want to let the people decide. Because for me, it's a wash. I don't even think the message is better. No.
To make munching, they back munching, sipping, ripping, on the rocks, my crew. Yeah.
Mike, hold on. Listen to what you're saying. There's a whole legion of people that think the message is the best song on It Was Written. That's the only reason I'm saying that. It's not the best song to me, and I think this is a wash. But this is one of those let the people decide for me, because I do think it's a draw. Because I love both of these records, but I don't love these records the way their core followers love these records.
So like Sampras, play fake rappers like Campus and Tigris, Sonya, Too Eager. You ain't having it good.
Me either. Let's get together and make this whole world believe it's hand. Am I arraignment screaming?
All us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even, yeah. I know people are probably going to say
the message. No, you're not about to side Can't Knock the Hustle past the message. You need to let the people decide. Because I'm not big. Like, how about this? The Message is one of those Nas records that I respect it because everybody else respects it so highly. But for me, like if I'm making a Nas playlist of my favorite Nas songs and I'm picking like 20 songs, the Message might fall on the back end.
Shout out to Darren Harris with the $20 super chat. That's love. He said, it's okay, fam. Nas picked unorthodox beats on purpose. He likes to challenge himself. Salam Remy said it himself. By the way, I remember Nas versus Tupac was a debate back in 1996 of who had the best gun metaphor song.
Right.
It looks like people are choosing the message.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, Mike, when they do a catalog, listen to what I'm about to tell you. When they do a catalog of Nas' greatest songs and how it gets ranked, you understand the message usually comes up as a top 5 song. Sometimes
I love the message.
No, Mike, listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes it literally ranks number 2 right after New York State of Mind. It's super high on the list. That's why it's like when you say Can't Knock the Hustle is better, it's like, talk for the fans.
Fake thug, no love, you get the slug. See before gusto. Your luck, though. I didn't know till I was drunk, though.
So that first verse and Jay's third verse on Reasonable on Can't Knock, it's the same level, Mike. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
well, I mean, the level that Nas is on It Was Written. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
I can't say nothing's on. Yeah.
No, that's a draw to me. I'm cool with calling the message and Can't Knock the Hustle a draw. I love both of those records, but I don't love those records the way their core followers love those records. I'm cool with the draw.
I'm seeing more people say, the message. I mean, we could do a post in the community section, but I see Can't Knock the Hustle, but it looks like the message got it. Mike 100 says, Mike, that was a setup. Only about 4 of those songs on the blueprint has Jay using his own lyrics. Now, lyrically, listen. Lyrically, I get it. Like, as far as, like, lyrically, where Nas is on It Was Written is somewhere else. I'm talking more so the songs. But I'll sit here and give, the message. I get it.
I mean, I get it to a degree. It's just like, how about this? For me, Mike, I mean, I don't even know if the message is one of my 5 favorite songs on It Was Written on a personal level. Because
You never mention it. Politics as usual.
Ooh. That's better than Street Dreams. Yeah. You know how I feel about politics.
All right, Brooklyn's Finest.
What's that? I Gave You Power. Ooh, let's have a conversation.
I'm going Brooklyn's Finest, actually.
You want to know what? No, I can't do that. I Gave You Power. I was almost there with you, and then I thought about what Elliott Wilson did with that whole Rhyme of the Year thing, and then I thought, like, no, you couldn't even give him Rhyme of the Year for that when he deserved it. So it's like,
this is my nitpick with.
Think about this. Hold on, Brooklyn's Finest and I Gave You Power came out the same year. Who got Rhyme of the Year? Elliott Wilson didn't want to give Rhyme of the Year. Again, the music editor extraordinaire.
Cool.
His wife's a way better journalist than them. I hope I start a fight in their house tonight. His wife is an excellent journalist. He's crappy.
Cool. This is the
Hope they
thing.
fight at home
If we
tonight.
sit here and talk about lyrics, Nas is gonna win that every time. I'm talking
That I
about
was
the
good.
song.
Oh, you talking about? Hold on, Mike.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the beat by DJ Premier over Clark Kent, do you? He's got him on the beat and the lyrics. This is what I keep telling you about. It was written compared to Reasonable Doubt. Well, lyrically, he's better, and a lot of the beats are better. This is one of those beats. I Gave You Power is a better beat.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say
and you're
this.
not about
And you
to
know
have
what?
a lyrical conversation about I Gave You Power.
People are saying I gave you power, and you know what? I got you. I think that conceptually it's a better song, but I'm just gonna say this: I play Brooklyn's Finest more than I play I Gave You Power.
Can I tell you something and be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I play Brooklyn's Finest more than I play I Gave You Power. That does not make the record better.
Okay, that's fair. Everybody in here saying I gave you power.
Well, because here, this is what I'm talking about, Mike.
Hudson says, I Gave You Power is the first lyrics he learned from beginning to end.
See, this is what I'm saying. Look, this is what I'm saying. This is why I told you when we do our ratings, it's like, well, I want to rate the beats, I want to rate the rhymes, and I want to rate the life because that's what matters most. What's better? The beats better. The rhymes are better. The life actuality and reality of the story is better. He's talking about being a gun being transferred through the black community in a violent manner. What's more important? Where's the message? Where's the lyrics? Who did the beat? Clark Kent or Premier? Nas on his best shit or Big and Jay going back and forth. And neither one of those performances, even though they're great, is their best performances. It's like, no, that's some of Nas's best shit. Even if it's Brooklyn's Finest.
I didn't love the beat to Brooklyn's Finest, I'm going to be honest.
It's one of when I talk about the production on that album sounding dated, this is one of the beats.
Talking about that song.
This is one of the
Dead Presidents 2.
It's hard to beat that, especially when you got Watch Them Niggas. This is a walk. This is
not even a conversation.
That's an annihilation. That's an annihilation.
Feeling It.
Taking In Blood.
I got Feeling It.
I can draw that.
Okay. Feel the glass to the top of Moab.
How about this? Actually, to be honest with you, I can't draw. Hold on. You think Feeling It's better than Taking In Blood?
I do.
Where?
And not by a whole lot. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like.
Okay. That's why I was cool with drawing it, because it's like, well, I could give you the lyrical side, but you can probably give me the beat and the feeling side.
Yeah.
So we can draw that. Is that fair? Is that fair to draw?
Fair?
I mean, first of all, you about to get killed for picking Feeling It over Taking In Blood, but I think it's fair because here's the thing. No, because Feeling It is a beautiful record and it's charismatic. It's insightful. That last verse is insightful, and it has a charismatic and a feel to it that Taking In Blood doesn't have. Taking In Blood is just like, it's like, oh, that's the best lyricist ever doing like some
the best
like,
lyricist
what?
shit.
It's like what? It's like what? Oh, it's like, yeah, he's the best rapper. Okay. Next.
Okay. We'll draw that.
We'll draw that. Where are we at right now?
Eagles.
Just out of curiosity.
We're at 2-2.
In a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I thought
Mike 100 says Jay got dragged on Brooklyn's Finest.
He didn't get dragged. He just
true.
lost. There's a difference between losing and getting dragged. Getting dragged is what happened to Mike Tyson versus Michael Spink.
I don't know if he got dragged, man, or
He didn't
even lost.
No. He's there.
I like the what was that line? I'm from Marcy, I'm varsity, chump you JV, chicka JC. Now I liked his word placement and his flow, and I'm not saying that he got big, right?
No, he didn't.
But it ain't like he got killed or anything.
He was getting faded on the first two, and he acquitted himself rather nicely on the third verses. The third verse is where he made it more of a like, because Big got him on the first one, like, and that's easy. You know, fuck fist
they sound
fights,
great together.
scuffles, pillowcase to your face, make the shell muffle, shoot your daughter in the fucking tussle. Yeah, no, he got him right there.
But you think Jay got him on I Love the Dough?
I think, how about this? Here's how I look at it. On Brooklyn's Finest, on the first two verses, Big got him. On the third verse, it's closer to a draw. Jay has the slight edge. Because I told you, I love that time to separate the pros from the cons, the platinum from the bronze. That butter soft shit from that leather on the fawns. It's like, oh, no. Those aren't regular bars. Those are superstar MC bars. Okay? So I feel like he might have got Big on the third one, but I'm still giving Big those first two verses. On I Love the Dough, I felt like that both of their verses were comparable, like Jay and Big's verses are comparable by themselves. But Jay on that third verse, when I look, miraculous, pocket stay full, niggas spit, like his flow, his delivery, he got him slightly, that third verse. But it was more about, because you want to know what he did? He's probably the first nigga to get big with the flow on a song. Because he got him with the flow on the third verse. He's like, I got to come with some more shit because I keep losing to this guy. like it ain't sounding like, because even when you hear him on the first verse of I Love the Dough, if you're not really into MCing and you don't love Jay, because I love Jay after 97, you probably think Big got him on that second verse is more of the draw. And so you can hear him coming in on that third verse, like, we laugh at y'all, little bastard y'all. Like, he's going for his, like, on there. I can hear his flow getting sicker, like, while he keeps flipping it and flipping. He's like, no, this nigga not about the, and then you hear Big make his flow fast. We hit makers with acres and shakers, roll big. Like, Big actually starts flowing on Nas on the third verse of I Love the Dough to try to catch up with what Jay's doing. It's like, no, I need to speed up my flow and attack this nigga faster. Because Jay slowed it down and freaked it. Miraculous. Pocket stay full. Niggas pick the ball because we mad at those. Slap the P89 that we packing the drawers and we clap the doors of the Acura. Snap like cameras on amateurs. Make you all dance, hold the hammer to yours. Bigger jig, rock, ice, no cracks or flaws. Everybody got a part to play. Yeah, back to yours. You see what I'm saying he doing? He freaking that shit and slowing it down. And
Jay Short.
He made Big speed up. We hit acres with shakers. You can't break us. Lost chips off Lakers. Gassed off Shaq. Big's rapping faster when he hear Jay do that. Like, hold on, nigga. Like, you ain't about to do that on my record. Yeah.
Jay Short with the super chat says, outside of the evils and dead presidents, the beats on Reasonable Doubt ain't that tough. It's like God's Son with better lyrics. Man, that's
a little disrespectful.
Michael Williams says, Big got Jay on Young G's. Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I don't go broke. Crazy. All right. So
it was a draw. It was a draw on Young G's too, because Jay said I keep a hood like what 50 cent something in quarter waters. Yeah. Like no, they're right there. It's in pocket.
The evils.
I mean, whatever I have up against it is losing. What was Taken in Blood?
No.
Taken in Blood was before that, right?
Yeah. We're number 6.
Yeah, so I'm at number 7 on mine. Because I had an intro.
Oh, yeah. So you're Nas is coming.
Yeah, man, Nas is coming. Yeah,
that's
I think
not happening. The L Web 100 says, Big Body J on Young G's. He snapped. All right, so after that, we got 22 twos. Now, that's a beat I'm not a fan of. Be honest.
I'm such a fan of the rhymes. Affirmative action is what's next. What do you think? That might be kind of drawish to me, too. But I
lean towards affirmative action on this, to be honest.
That's crazy. Can I tell you something? I actually lean towards 22 twos on this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do. I love Jay's verse on 22 twos. The first verse, too much West Coast dick licking. And too many niggas on a mission doing your best Jay-Z rendition. Too many rough motherfuckers. I got the suspicion that you're just fishing a pool of sharks, nigga. Listen, too many bitches want to be
You know what? I'm
ladies.
cool with 22 twos winning that, because I'm thinking about the second verse too.
Too many bitches is shady. Too many ladies give these niggas too many chances. Too many brothers want to be lovers, don't know what romance is.
Yeah.
Too many bitches stuck up from too many sexual advances. No question. Jay-Z got too many answers. I've been around this block too many times. Rock too many rhymes. Cock too many nines. To all my brothers, ain't too late to come together, because too much black and too much love equal forever. I don't follow any guidelines, because too many niggas ride mine. So I change styles every 2 lines.
Yeah.
That's some of his best shit, Mike.
And the way he came in that second verse, got to meet my quota. Yeah.
Hold on. He doesn't even get insightful like that anymore in terms of how he disperses stuff. Like when he says too many bitches want to be ladies, so if you a hoe, I'm gonna call you a hoe. Too many bitches is shady. Too many ladies give these brothers too many chances. Too many brothers want to be lovers, don't know what romance is. He don't even spit game like that anymore.
Nah, I think the Jay you're getting on Reasonable Doubt is a one and done.
That's game. That's the same game Pusha. Hold on, how about this? The game he's spitting on 22 twos about the male-female dynamic, that's the same game Pusha T spitting on So Appalled.
No, that's real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Jay don't even talk that way no more. I'll take 22 twos over affirmative action.
Can I live?
I'm taking that over everything almost.
Yeah.
What's next? The setup? Is that the setup? How is the setup losing to Jay on the Blueprint and on Reasonable Doubt? Because I'm not taking the setup over Can I Live.
Ain't no nigga.
Matter of fact, I want that heart of the city back. Now that
No,
the
you're
setup
not getting that
lost
heart of the
again.
city back. You're
Okay.
not getting that heart of the city back.
Damn, that's kind of street. Like, think about this. The setup just lost the heart of the city and Can I Live?
Yeah. Ain't no nigga.
Black girl lost.
Well, that's ain't no nigga. That's funny how this stuff
It's funny
pans
how it
out.
falls. That's what I'm saying. You see how the setup lost twice?
Friend or foe?
Suspect.
Huh.
Huh.
I like
Suspect
both of
is a
those
better
records
song.
for very similar reasons, but
Me too.
I
Suspect
think
is just a more full version.
I think Friend or Foe. Huh.
Can I tell you something?
I don't know.
I
Go
think
ahead.
Friend or Foe is one of Primo's worst beats.
Really? Okay.
I do.
It's just loud and blaring, huh?
It's almost like no bass line. It's just like snares and horns, and it's like if not for Jay's rhetoric, what is that song? Because I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
The part that I love, because this is the first
it's
time I heard somebody
conversational, Jay, man.
How about this? I never heard somebody talk on record like this before, and so that's why it was important. Like when he went, "You draw, better be Picasso."
You know the best.
You know the best, because if this is not so, God bless. It's like I never heard nobody talk on record like that before. Like talk greasy in a calm way like that, but also talk like that. But does that make it a better song?
I'm seeing it looks kind of split in the chat.
I can draw that. I'm cool with drawing Suspect and Friend or Foe. I'm cool with the draw.
That's tough for me.
Yeah, it's tough for me too. I'm cool with the draw.
Coming of age.
I would kind of lean towards Friend or Foe more though.
I think me too.
But it feels kind of draws because Suspect is too intricate and the beat's too dope to ignore. You know what I mean?
Coming of age.
Shootouts, Mike.
Well, that's shootouts. Cashmere Thoughts.
Live nigga rap.
It's live nigga rap right there.
Right.
Bring It On.
If I Rule the World.
I like Bring It On.
You want to give it the Bring It On. I post like Hakeem.
Jeez. I
Say
think
less.
that's his best.
Say
One
less.
of his best verses on that album.
Say less. Yes. It's top 5 verse on an all-time great rap album. Yes.
Regrets.
That would be Silent Murder. So Silent Murder.
Okay. So it looks like we got Reasonable Doubt 7 to It Was Written's 5 in like 2
I told
hours.
you it would flip.
Yeah.
See? But what did I say? I said comparable.
Yeah.
So think about this. Jay's 2 best albums, well, Nas's 2nd best album is somewhere in between those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about how I figured it. That's why I have Reasonable Doubt at 21 and It Was Written at 29. That's my evidence right there. There you go.
Want to play one more game with the Black Album?
You want to know what the Black Album is scary for me?
It is scary, right?
No, because the songs on the Black Album, you want to talk
It's
about
like boom, boom, boom,
right, when
boom.
he hits it, when he hits it, he hits it. But yeah, let's go. We can.
Yeah.
But notice how we're staying on It Was Written. But that's cool. I'm cool
But
with It Was
I mean,
Written.
this is about the fact that It Was Written was treated unfair.
No. So
Yeah.
listen so understand this. It Was Written is not what these journalists who lack integrity said it was, or we wouldn't be able to sit up here and compare it to Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, and the Black Album. Now,
Right.
Okay, so let's go to the Black Album. The Black Album might win more than the Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt just on a song basis.
I don't think it'll win more than Reasonable Doubt, but it'll probably win more than the Blueprint because the Blueprint ended up losing 8-6.
And I want you to keep in mind, you're up 2-on-1 and down 2-on-1, and the setup didn't win anything.
December 4th.
The Message is better than December 4th.
Okay. What more can I say?
I think What More Can I Say is better than Street Dreams. I feel the way that you feel about the third verse.
Okay.
When he says paint me like a pickaninny, I was like, Mike, once again, you want to talk about some literary devices because there's a few different ways you can go paint me like a pickaninny. Oh, you can go 3-4 different ways right there on that one bar. Yeah.
DJ Bruce Almighty says, not even including Mike and Coop, but this group is anti-J. These comments.
They're going in?
I don't know what y'all are talking about, man.
Right,
Jay's
I was
one
say I
of
don't
the
know what
greats.
they're doing. I'm not in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So Encore.
Street Dreams?
Huh?
Hold on, no. I'm sorry. I gave you power.
Okay.
That's I gave you power.
That's I gave you power.
Right.
Change clothes.
Watch them niggas.
Change clothes. Dirt Off Your Shoulder.
Take It in Blood.
So such different records.
That is.
I lean towards the Take It in Blood
Me
side,
too.
but I would
Me
like
too.
to ask the people.
Let's ask the people. I'm cool with that.
What's the better song?
Because I'm fascinated about it. And I love Dirt Off Your Shoulders. Don't get me twisted.
Dirt Off Your Shoulders is a dope record. What's
It
the
is a
better
dope record.
song? Dirt Off Your Shoulders or
Take It in Blood.
Take It in Blood?
But also keep in mind when you posted that it was Written's anniversary, and you said what's the best song? Take It in Blood got more votes than anything else in there. Which I found to be striking because I told you, Mike, every year on my birthday, the first record that I play when I get up is Take It in Blood. That's my motto. I never brag, how real I keep it, because it's the best secret. When I heard that, I was like, that's my motto. When I heard that when I was 14 years old, that was my motto. I never brag, how real I keep it, because it's the best secret.
You know what? After we do this, people want us to do a Black Album versus Stillmatic. And it looks like Take It in Blood's taking this.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Okay. Nothing against Dirt Off Your Shoulders. I love Dirt Off Your Shoulders.
Me too. Threats.
I love Threat more than I love Dirt Off Your Shoulder, though. And so Nas Is Coming is nowhere near what Threat is.
Nas Is Coming's not winning anything. Hold on, let me get to the super chat. Jay Short with the super chat says, in 1996, Reasonable Doubt was a dope album. It's a classic. But I feel like Jay and a lot of his fans have tried to go back and retroactively make it his Illmatic.
Yes.
It was impactful it was impactful like that in the 90s. I guess he meant it wasn't impactful like that in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, its impact is the growth and the development of Rockefeller Records and everything that spawned from that. And, being the birth of the incredible career of Jay-Z and the incredible legacy of Jay. Okay, so we had Threats over Nas Is Coming. Yeah. Moment of Clarity. I think one of the few missteps production-wise on this album.
Affirmative Action's finally going to win one.
Got Affirmative Action over it? Okay.
Yeah, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Jay Short with the super chat says Reasonable Doubt wasn't impactful like that in the 90s. Yeah, we got you. Appreciate that, OG. And
they performed Affirmative Action at the Apollo when it came out. Yeah.
99 Problems.
Oh, that's the setup. And 99 Problems is not better than the setup. Finally. Victory.
You think 99 Problems is better than the setup? I want to ask the people that one.
I was about to say, and even then, I love me some 99 Problems, and these are two stories. They're brilliant stories. This is probably Jay's best story.
I like the setup personally better, but I could see someone picking 99 Problems. Andre Shashir says, change clothes over, watch them niggas. What? Shaking my head. What was I going to say? Yeah, which one? The setup or 99 Problems, y'all? What do y'all think out there? I see the setup.
Yeah.
See the setup.
Yeah, it's the setup.
Setup, 99.
Okay.
Setup is better, 99.
It's the beat, too, with the setup. That's some of Havoc shit, too. How about this? That's the type of beat. I didn't hear Havoc give people a lot of beats that I thought Prodigy should have rapped over. That's why I like the setup. Because it's no, you could have kept that in the Mobb Deep family. How about this? That beat to the setup would have fit perfectly on Hell on Earth.
They're getting us for them watch them niggas in the change clothes thing. So maybe we need to flip that one. What do you think about public service announcement? What do you got for that?
I got Black Girl Lost, so I don't have anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Justify My Thug.
I got Suspect for that, so I got that. Suspect's better than Justify My Thug.
Definitely. Lucifer.
Ooh, Shootouts. Ooh, that's fascinating. I don't know what to say about that. I love both of those songs.
I personally like Shootouts more. You might be surprised by that, but I know how much people love Lucifer.
Can I tell you something? Lucifer is one of my favorite J tracks to ride to. I love Shootouts, but I don't ride the Shootouts the way that I ride the Lucifer. I actually enjoy, and I don't know, maybe it's the Cali in me. When I hear that, it's that's him on his West Coast shit.
Paige with the super chat says American Gangster was better than the Black Album, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right, what do y'all got? Lucifer or Shootouts? I'm
I think
seeing
that's a good one.
Lucifer.
I think that's a good one. I think that's a good comparison. I'm cool with drawing that, actually. Love me some Lucifer. His flow on Lucifer is so sick.
Shootouts, Toss Up, Lucifer.
It's a draw. I'm cool with that draw. That's the best draw. That's a good draw.
Yeah, it's looking like it. People are saying it's tough. It's a tie. I see Lucifer. I see, yeah. We'll make that a draw. But right now, the Black Album's behind 4-6. And the next record that I got for you is Allure.
Well, I mean, I'm at Live Nigga Rap, so you're losing.
In my opinion, but people love Allure.
I love Allure too. It's not better than Live Nigga Rap. I told you, Allure is one of my favorite joints too. But there are levels to this. So how about this?
Live Nigga Rap, to me personally, it might be my favorite song It Was Written, other than
you talk about it like it is.
Other than Silent Murder.
You talk about it like it is. When you talk about it was written, there's like the way you talk about it was written, and then there's how you talk about Live Nigga Rap and Silent Murder.
The way that beat hits and the way Nas came in that shit, like
he's havoc.
Like the way that Nas sounds on Live Nigga Rap, that's the rapper that I'm talking about is the greatest rapper that ever graced this earth. Like,
can I tell you something?
It's
can
crazy.
I tell you something? Why I love Nas Live Nigga Rap? That's the most underrated verse of Nas' career that nobody talks about.
That verse is crazy.
That verse is crazy.
Yeah. There's nobody that would have been able to get on that record and stand with him.
When I say projects is like Kuwait, I escape into zones. That's irregular. Why debate on the phone? I'm sold cellular. Escobar 600. You just a crumb inside the world where the rich run it. Curriculum of a mathologist. Deep throats, they try to swallow this. Anthropologist. Dynasties of great knowledges I preserve in my dome. Nigga spots is full of silicone. Spots blown. Gorilla ice on this killer's life. I put my word on it. Now you can sleep on the rock or swerve on it. Nas is... What he say? Nas is menage remount and relarges. We like a rough but smoother than El the barges. Catching chargemen, a marksman, living heartless. Grab a cartridge, cock my shit on some mob shit. We mobbing, putting niggas in mausoleums.
Yeah, that wins. Heads
it's
Bob,
like, I don't know how he breathed through that. I don't know how he breathed through that.
My first song versus If I Ruled the World.
Breathing through that. Ooh.
My first song versus If I Ruled the World, and that's If I Ruled the World. So this ended up being...
How do you feel about my first song?
I love my first song.
I just like the Biggie part, man. Just the fact that he brought Biggie in on the intro where Biggie's talking about, Puff told me the key to working on it, stay hungry. Like, and then you go listen to Life After Death and you're like, mission accomplished.
And the story at the end and everything, like, I feel like it's one of the better outros ever.
It is. Like it's 96 and I got O's in the rental. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, he's special on there.
We got spam in the chat, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Clear that up, moderators. But
now I'll jump in. The original reason I started jumping in the chat was because our moderators weren't clearing out spam. So I'm gonna come clear out the spam.
No, I think they might have got it. What was I gonna say? All right, well, this looks like If I Ruled the World, I think is just such a big record. It's hard.
It is. It might be too big for my first song.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So.
But I love my first song. I do. And so many people have said we're a Nas channel. I've been making a point to like audit Jay's catalog properly and not make his fans feel like that we're in here trying to not audit his catalog properly because our integrity is good, unlike the people that we're talking about today. Outside of Danielle Smith. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, man, I mean, it's about the music. Like, I'm fans of all of these guys, so I'm not sitting here, not acknowledging certain things because I'm a fan of a certain artist. Even the stuff that I say about Common that, Common's fans have a problem with, I'm a Common fan. And none of that's changed. I'm just acknowledging certain things. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be fair and balanced as all that comes. I mean, Andre's, he's one of my favorite rappers growing up, if not my favorite. I speak how I speak when we talk about Andre, too. I don't give him the benefit of the doubt over anybody else. We talking about the music, and the music stands alone. Did you want to do the Stillmatic and Black Album thing? Out of curiosity.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what. And this is what I've always said about Stillmatic. How about this? It's like his highlight reel is actually Stillmatic, Mike. So it's like you need to be careful about doing that to the Black Album, because Jay's great at doing highlight reel stuff the way Nas isn't, but Stillmatic is Nas's highlight reel album, is what I tell people. Like, it doesn't have the fundamental bones and structure that It Was Written in Illmatic has lyrically. It's not as strong. But Mike, his home runs are there. And so if you want to do it, you can. But what I'm telling you is, if you put the Black Album against Stillmatic, you are going to lose bad. Because I can think of 11 tracks on there, and you can't, even with the tracks on the Black Album, maybe take but 4 of those 11.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
007 says, so y'all got Nas' second best album better than 2 of Jay's top 3 albums. And Reasonable Doubt over It Was Written 7-5 with 2 draws.
But
and
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang looked at Nas like he was the golden child. What more is there needed to be discussed? Yeah, man, the catalog's crazy, and it's still going. And he dropped 2 albums that were highly critically acclaimed last year in 1 calendar year. Bruce Almighty says, Joe Budden podcast says, Dreams and Nightmares is the best intro ever. Thoughts?
Okay.
I think that's an industry thing to say. It's not the best intro ever.
I mean, it's the best intro to an album in terms of like what you can play in a club. But I mean, I'll give you Ambitions as a Rider.
This is what I'm gonna say, and
Ambitions as a Rider is better than Dreams and Nightmares. How about that?
I will say this, and I'm gonna say this respectfully. I'm gonna say this as respectfully as I can. I think that that intro is inflated because Meek didn't give us a lot.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, that's his song. Like, all the other records that Meek has that gets played, somebody else is on it. That's his record. I mean, you know what I mean? And I think that it's inflated because it's the one record that he does have. But it's not better than Ambitions of a Rider. Like, what are we talking about? That shit's not better than Execution Double 9 style off of East 1999. It's just not.
No, okay, so for me, the start of your album is supposed to be a tone setter. Right. So, Ambitions as a Rider is the best tone setter on an album I ever heard.
I'm with that.
So when I hear like best rap song to start off an album, it doesn't say best rap song. It says best rap song to start off an album. That's different. Like, because if we're getting technical, this is what I'm saying. Well, if you're getting technical,
that's the message too. New York State of Mind's in there too. Then
Mike. That's exactly where I was going. It's like, well, if we're being technical, New York State of Mind, but I try to get it from the feel that sets a tone for an album. So I always look at Ambitions as a Rider as the best intro to a rap album ever. Because who else explains who they are to start off an album more perfectly and more properly that makes you nod your head like that? So many battlefield scars while driven in plush cars. His life as a rap star is nothing without heart. He's born rough and rugged. I'm addressing the mad public. My attitude is motherfuckers love it.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
To a rap album ever.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but did he say life as a rap star is nothing without God, heart, or guard? Because I've seen all of those.
I thought it was nothing without God.
I always thought God too. Reggie with the super chat says, Coop, what's Jay's best verse on Allure?
Probably the second one.
007 says, Stillmatic versus The Blueprint, please. Let's do that then. You want to do that?
No, I'm just thinking of Allure in my mind right quick. Hold on.
The Allure of breaking the law.
And Vito's way. Yeah, give me the second one. Yeah, the second one.
Second verse? Okay.
Yeah, second verse.
All right. We'll do The Blueprint versus Stillmatic. I feel like we've done that on this show before, but we haven't done it in front of 300 people, I'm sure.
We can. No, okay. I'm with it.
Let's do that.
And also, too, hold on. I am in the chat now, but it's just because the spam's jumping in because Elliot probably found out we talking about him and his lack of integrity, or he probably heard me say that his wife is a good journalist and he sucks, which is true. So I hope they fight tonight because she's a great journalist. I don't know what she's doing with him.
Let me get to these super chats real quick.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Jay Short says, y'all not a Nas channel. Who wants to hear you break down Kingdom Come in Volume 3? They want to hear about classic music. Y'all, wow. Andre Shashir says, KD 4.5, KD 2, 4.75, Magic 5. I dig the rating. Hold on, did I skip somebody? We got all of this spam. They entering the conversation for real, for real. Okay. You want to go ahead and let's do this blueprint and Stillmatic and we can ride out?
Yeah.
All right. The rule is back.
Stillmatic intro. That's blood of a slave, heart of a king. That's what I mean about those highlight reel stuff.
I'll go there. There. Takeover.
Ether. Highlight reel.
You know what, man? I think Takeover's a better song. But
it's not. It's a better beat.
I think it's a better song.
Which song has a better... Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. I agree with you if you're talking about the beat. But if we're getting to the rhymes and we're getting to the hook, and hold on, let's say...
At the end of the day, it's Nas's response to the Takeover, so it'd be impossible for me to make the argument that the Takeover will win this. You know what I mean? Because if the Takeover didn't win the battle, it's going to be very tough for me to win an argument to say that the Takeover is better than Ether. You know what I mean? So that's Ether. It is what it is.
Right.
Those songs clearly got matched up when it came to the battle and the people.
Oh no, that was intentional. Hold on. So can we go back to the whole the Source thing with Elliott Wilson again?
Mm-hmm.
See, so right after the Source gives the blueprint 5 mics, Nas enlists Hangman 3 of Made Men to do the intro to Stillmatic. Benzino's crew. Right. Y'all just take that and run with it.
Izzo.
Michael. Izzo or got yourself a gun. It's like
Izzo for me.
I mean, which crappy single do you want?
I'm going Izzo all day.
Okay, they're both crappy. But both of those songs should never have been released.
I like Izzo. I don't like Got Yourself a Gun like that.
I don't know. I like both of them. Next.
Paige with the super chat says blueprint musically, Stillmatic lyrically. Okay. Yeah.
No.
Girls.
I love me some Smoking, but it's not better than Girls. Smoking is one of those songs that I like because I'm a Nas fan, and I lived on the West Coast. The West Coast niggas like Smoking.
Jigga that nigga Jigga.
Oh well, that's not better than You're the Man. Next.
Nope, not at all.
And you're losing. You're losing right here. You know you're about to lose.
I'm not about to lose right here. I got You Don't Know.
Let the people decide. Because this is what I wanted. This is what I'm talking about. My highlight reels. Rewind's better than You Don't Know.
No, it's not. Come on, man. It's not.
Hold on.
No,
so Mike. So no.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
I want you. No. Listen to what I'm about to tell you.
I'm not giving you that one.
No. I want you to give me a valid argument for why You Don't Know is better than Rewind, because guess what, Mike? I can give you points and reasons and rationale for why Rewind is better than You Don't Know, and you need to have the ability to do the same if you're going to say that it's better. Because I got highlight. This is what I'm talking about that highlight reel shit that you're not going to be able to beat. Well, You Don't Know is not beating Rewind on the highlight reel.
Well, I want to hear what you got to say when it comes to why you think Rewind is actually a better song than You Don't Know.
Okay, so how many MCs have told stories backwards and made it make sense?
Okay.
All right,
so
you're
going to speak from a technical aspect.
So first of all, no. So let's just address it something. If on the level of MCing, craft, lyricism, and degree of difficulty, well, you already lost, so you need to make your claim, because on one point, I got you needing to make about 3 or 4 or 5. Because
it's funny how you can make those arguments.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Mike. A lot of your feeling and thought is judged around the fact that the beat is superior, but that's the only thing that's superior.
No, his approach and everything else. Listen.
Hold on. Listen to what you're saying. Jay's takeover. Hold on. Jay's approach to You Don't Know is better than Nas's approach to Rewind. Are you sure you don't want to walk that?
No, I didn't say that specifically. I said as far as like the approach is a part of why that song is incredible too. I mean, it's funny how you can make these arguments for Rewind, but when we talk about Lupe or whatnot, it's about song making.
No, because Lupe doesn't execute these thoughts the way Nas does. Rewind. Hold on. So let's get the point too. No.
There's no song making component in Rewind.
Let's get the point
it's just
two.
Some dope bars.
No. Let's get the point two that I was about to make. First of all, you didn't argue for Jay. You brought Lupe in there. Point two, execution. Because I knew you were going to do that. Lyrically, the degree of difficulty that this record provides has never been executed on this level before. Not by Rakim, not by Nas, not by Lupe. He executed this record. It's actually entertaining and enjoyable. He
Mike 100
executed.
says, Mike, Rewind is the first of its kind. I agree. But see, the thing is, ain't nobody going to sit here and put on Rewind over You Don't Know.
No,
You
I'm
Don't
not
Know is
either.
going to get played.
No, I'm not. I'm not either. But you asked what was the better song.
Yeah.
You didn't ask what I was gonna play more. Just because I play something more doesn't make it better. Like
You Don't
I
Know is
play
the better song.
How about this, Mike? I'm a Naughty by Nature fan. I play Feel Me Flow more than I play OPP. OPP is better than Feel Me Flow. Period.
Of course it is, and I don't play Feel Me Flow over OPP.
Huh?
I don't play Feel Me Flow over OPP.
But I do. But what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying is like you're talking about the nuance of the record. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, well, Rewind does a lot of things that You Don't Know doesn't do. What does You Don't Know do except make you ride the J? Because I can give you other records like that.
You Don't Know is motivational, man. I will not.
Right. Rewind is a one of one though.
I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact. Grind the G pack. Put this shit in motion. Ain't no rewinding me back.
Right,
Come on, man.
Mike, she bobbed and spit a nut back in my dick.
I mean, that's great. Listen, that's great from a creative writing standpoint.
Hold on. So, Mike, if we're rating the song, on what level are we rating on? Are we rating it on the beat, right?
We're rating it on the whole song together. We've had this argument when it comes to Rewind and I Got a Story to Tell. And I told you I think I Got a Story to Tell is a better song. It just is. And you don't agree with that either, but I just want people to know this ain't just a Jay thing. I think that these songs are just better songs.
This conversation that we're having is not a Jay and Nas thing. I think it's a what you like to hear and what you appreciate or put on a higher level thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is that what Nas did on Rewind is probably never going to be done and executed at this level again. There are records in Jay's catalog that are You Don't Know-ish. And so it's like when you're trying to...
You Don't Know is a top 3 Jay record.
Yes, it is. He has a You Don't Know type of record that you go like, whoa, on every album. Can I submit to you The Evils? Can I submit to you Imaginary Player in Streets is Watching? No, he does that every album.
Great record.
Nas doesn't do Rewind every album. I'm sorry, dude. Where I'm From is very You Don't Know-ish. You know how I feel about where I'm from. Though. You're right, because lyrically Where I'm From is better than You Don't Know. I'm from a place where the church is the flakiest, and niggas been praying to God so long that they atheists. He ain't got one bar. He doesn't have one bar on there like that on You Don't Know.
You Don't Know is a better song than Where I'm From, too.
Not to me, actually.
Jay Short with the super chat says, another false narrative about Nas was Takeover was all facts and Ether was all jokes. It would be cool if there was a tasteful way you guys could break down both and see which song was more true.
But I mean, not even that though. But what I'm saying is that I love You Don't Know.
Unknown Name says, as someone who likes Nostradamus, You Don't Know is way better than Rewind. You Don't Know hits emotionally, right? It hits that vein, man. It's different, man.
No, you don't.
Nobody is riding to Rewind over You Don't Know.
You Don't Know. Nobody. You Don't Know is a special record.
So
you asked me what was better, not what was special. And even if we're going by special, Rewind's more special. This is what I'm saying. The only thing, Mike, if you're breaking it down,
give me that, man. I can't.
Mike, if you're breaking it down, you got the beat and you got the feeling. I got everything else. That's why I'm telling you, it's like that LeBron Michael Jordan conversation. No, Mike, what do you have other than the beat and the feeling, though?
I told you. You ain't trying to hear it. Michael Williams says You Don't Know is Jay's most charismatic performance.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make it a better song.
I mean, outside of the lyrics alone of Rewind and the degree of difficulty on that, what else do we have? We don't have a hook. We don't even have a hook on this record.
Listen to what you're saying. There's not a hook on You Don't Know either.
Yes,
you don't know what you do. That's a sample in a loop. That's
I understand what you're saying, but
it's not a hook.
It has the Sure I Do. I Will Not Lose. It has those things that you remember.
That's the shit that made him take an L, though, Mike. That's actually where he took the L, saying that I will not lose shit is what got him bodied.
Again, what he's saying is penetrates so much that it's stuck long enough for Nas to respond to it.
Right. And he responded, took it from him, and did it better than him. So listen to what you're saying. Even with the I Will Not Lose thing, Well, that got took from you and used against you. So how are you going to say this record is so great when Nas was able to take? No, listen to what
It's
I'm
a
about to
great
say.
record.
Let me finish. No, let me finish. Al, the record's great, right? Well, Nas took the record and flipped it and crushed you with it.
How about we do this?
You lost. No, Mike. Let me say this and let me finish. Part of where Jay lost is saying "I will not lose" on this song because it got used against him 6 months later. So this is actually part of his defeat too.
Actually, I think the "I will not lose" that was taken for Ether.
Lose.
I think that was coming from
Godson across the belly. I prove you lost already. So this is part of his L.
No, but I'm saying I think that the "I will not lose" kind of comes from when he was doing that on Change the Game, which was on the Dynasty. But I feel you. This is what we'll do. We'll put a poll out there.
That. I'm not giving you.
We'll put a poll out there in the community section with these two records because I'm not giving you Rewind over you. Hey, I can't.
I can't do that. I can't do that either because Rewind is too special to the craft of MCing and lyricism, and we have too many. Mike, for real talk, we have too many people up in here auditing lyrics and lyricism for you to put Rewind down like this.
I'm not putting Rewind down.
You are because you're putting you don't know.
You don't know.
Like, Mike, no.
You don't know it's a top 3 J record.
No.
Rewind is not a top 3.
Listen to what I'm about to say. If this is Jay rapping, the way he's rapping on Streets is Watching, or Imaginary Player, or The Evils, I would understand you. He's not rapping like that on You Don't Know, and you know that.
You're putting the rapping over everything.
Mike, rapping matters when the other guy's rapping backwards. You need to be rapping forward better than he's rapping backwards. How about that, Mike? Can we talk about requirements? I need you, if the other guy is rapping backwards, to rap better forwards than he rap backwards. He's not doing that on You Don't Know. So
DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, Rewind is lyrically amazing. Not a great song. That's exactly how I feel. But Coop seems to feel different. We'll put it in the community section. Hold on.
Like I said, if it's not a great song, go show me the other MC, including Lupe, who can do it and execute it. Go ahead.
We'll put it in a poll.
I wouldn't do that if I was you, Mike. You're going to get your feelings hurt.
I don't know, man. Based on some of the super chats I was reading, I think that you might be the one.
No. Those dudes are putting their money up because they know what time it is and they just want to put their piece in. But like I said,
we'll put it out there.
No. All I'm saying is that if you think Jay-Z rapping forward on You Don't Know is better than Nas rapping backwards on Rewind, I'm not saying I'm going to pull your card. I'm saying I'm going to take your fucking card. It's not true. I'm not going to let y'all do that because this is hip hop. And no. If we're going to sit up there and tell me that Mike, if you're going to tell me that Rakim is the greatest lyricist of all time, and if all these new cats are going to tell me that Lupe is beyond Rakim and Nas, y'all not pulling up on Rewind like this because Rakim don't got no Rewind. Jay can't make Rewind on his best day, and Lupe can't either because he don't know how to execute.
Nas don't really have a You Don't Know.
All these niggas, all these niggas. All these niggas can't make Rewind. So
Kenneth Palmer with the super chat says Joe Rogan has a clip on YouTube where he's saying Nas is his favorite MC and Rewind is a top notch rap song. He's saying it on his podcast.
Didn't nobody ask him all that? Nobody asked him.
I'm
saying it.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Right, I'm saying it. Nobody asked him.
Hola Ovito.
Hold on. Oh. This is a very valid question, and this is, and I'm just saying because it's the end. Is You Don't Know as important to charismatic rap songs as Rewind is to storytelling rap?
We're never gonna get past this subject.
Man. No.
We're just gonna put the poll out.
I'm going to ask you a question because you're talking about how
I don't even know what kind of fucking question that is.
Because listen to what I'm saying.
More important to charismatic rap.
No, because
what are we talking about?
How great this song is. Well, it's like what's so great about it that he hasn't done. He just did it at a high level. Rewind is important to the craft of MCing. Y'all are trying to put a song that's important to the whole craft of MCing against Jay being super charismatic on the mic. And so we're going to have to audit that situation. And you're going to have to find evidence. And the fact Jay saying, I will not lose, is not like evidence because he lost.
Okay. Next song.
Oh, Lord.
Because we're going to do a poll. I want to see what the people got to say. And we'll revisit that Friday. Hola, Ovito.
Whatever else against Hola Jovito. No, one mic is against Hola Jovito.
Oh, yeah. One mic all day. Yeah. Heart of the City.
Second Childhood.
That's Heart of the City.
It is. Hey, can I tell you something? I'm not a big fan of Second Childhood like that. Like, more people love it than I do.
Never Change.
Ooh, fascinating. Destroy and rebuild.
That's never changed. And I love Destroy and Rebuild.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So Nas using Slick Rick's accent, telling a story, and doing a diss song. You see what I'm saying, Mike? Hold on, Mike. This is where you start coming off as a Jay fan, because it's like you so quick. You just chose Never Change over Destroy and Rebuild. Like the degree of difficulty.
I love Destroy and Rebuild. Never Change is awesome.
Let me ask you something. No. Listen to this. And this is what I'm telling you. And I'm saying this to you because we know each other. I want you to honestly think about this. Jay on Never Change, he's been making those types of records since Reasonable Doubt. Lucky Me. The Evils, like he gets in that vibe, in that zone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you hear Nas talking shit on a record? Like he's talking on the hook. Like no, listen to what I'm saying. He's talking shit on Destroy and Rebuild the way Tupac talks shit, and he actually takes Slick Rick's flow and cadence. And not only that, Mike. When have you ever heard Nas take shots at niggas live? He's taking shots at Jay, Cormega, Nature, Prodigy, Jay, everybody's catching a bad one, and you're going to take all of that with the Slick Rick influence, the cadence, Nas, and taking shots, and you're going to say Never Change is better. But you don't have any evidence, Mike.
I just think it's a better song.
Right, there's your evidence. That's not evidence.
I listen to it more. I think that, the production, the way it comes together, I'm like a dog. I never speak, but I understand. Like, I feel the record more.
It's not better than Destroy and Rebuild.
And I think that, you're really delving into the Eminem breakdown, dissecting everything.
No. Hold on. No. You and I, hold on. No. Here's where I'm going to pull your card. You and I have both talked about the importance of Slick Rick, and part of why he is important.
Of course.
Hold on. And you have said that part of why he is important is because both Jay and Nas has pulled from him.
Course.
So you don't back up off of it now.
I'm not backing off of any of that. But that doesn't make a record a better record.
Flow and cadence, so who flow and cadence did he adopt on this song? Just out of curiosity.
That's fine, but that doesn't make it a better song.
No, I'm asking you a question. I just want you to say it loud on the podcast.
It's Slick Rick. But honestly, I don't really care about that when I'm listening to the song.
So Nas is doing a diss record, taking Slick Rick's cadence and flow.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
And that's not better than Never Change.
It's not. Because when I press play and you ask me what song I would rather hear, I'm listening to Never Change.
Mike, you read too many Elliott Wilson articles growing up, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he got you good. He got you good.
No, man. I'm just being real. Like, I like Destroy and Reveal, but it's not better than Never Change. LP with the super chat says, Store Run is Nas's You Don't Know. Well,
no, it's not.
That pales in comparison. I mean, I
like Store Run is a great record. It's not better than You Don't Know, in my opinion.
007 says, Mike, Nas Made You Look is his You Don't Know. First Hate Me Now. You know what? Now, if you said Made You Look is his You Don't Know, I'm with that. Let's see what people are saying.
Made You Look steps on You Don't Know. You know that, right? You know that, right? You do know that. Okay.
I wouldn't say steps on, but it's better.
I mean, it's
not by a lot.
Rhyme-wise. The beat is superior, the rhyme is superior, but you can keep on telling me it's comfortable. Okay.
I don't know if the rhymes are superior. You kind of broke it down the other day and said that, that's
it's
kind of
not
Nas on his basic stuff.
Right, but it's better than what Jay does. Jay does the simple stuff all the time. He just makes it sound
conversational.
Right. That's what Nas is on Made You Look. And when Nas is conversational, it's over for Jay. That's what I'm trying to say.
His conversational don't touch Jay's conversation.
Then why is Made You Look your favorite Nas song?
Because I think that the hook is crazy, the beat's crazy.
I'm sorry. Let's get it all in perspective. For all y'all enjoyment, a song y'all could step with. Sounds kind of conversational. Y'all are pointing me to bring rap justice, but I ain't five. Y'all know it's Nas, y'all. Sounds conversational.
But it's not. Even as great as Nas
only describe us as soldier survivors. Like, Mike,
I feel you, but come on, man. That's not.
No, it's just when you
that's not imaginary player level conversation.
No. It's not imaginary player level, but we're not talking about imaginary player,
I'm just saying,
are we?
When it comes to conversation, what I'm saying is when it comes to conversation.
No. As soon as I made you look conversational, you went to imaginary player. That's not fair.
But I'm just saying, that's the level of
we talking about You Don't Know and Never Change.
Well, I mean, I think You Don't Know is right there with it. I think when we talk about being conversational, Nas doesn't see Jay in that lane. Like,
no, he doesn't.
Just like how Jay doesn't see Nas in the storytelling lane. So it's not even comparable in that way. Jay Short with the super chat says, Nas' diatribe on Destroy and Rebuild is over, never change. Okay.
We can wash it at best, Mike, but I'm not giving you no never change over destroy or rebuild. Like, I'm sorry, we can draw it. Like, we
Jay
can't do that.
Short says Steve's theme is better than You Don't Know. Man, y'all wild.
No. He's wild for that. That's not true.
And I
That's
love Steve's theme. Okay, so Song Cry.
The Flies.
That's Song Cry.
Uh,
All I Need.
it's Braveheart Party.
That's All I Need. Renegade.
Hold on. What's after Braveheart Party? Is that Rule?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got Rule over that? I'm going to put this one on you because people will say I'm biased.
No, I can't put Rule over that. I can't. It's Renegade, right?
That's Renegade, yeah.
Yeah, Rule's not better than Renegade, Mike.
Mama Loves Me.
I think that's What Goes Around. Is that what goes around, or is that My Country? What Goes Around?
What Goes Around and then My Country.
What Goes Around is the best song on the album to me.
Yeah, that's better than Mama Loves Me. Lyrical Exercise.
And then we got My Country.
That's Lyrical Exercise.
That's Lyrical Exercise.
So yeah, Blueprint beat it 8-5. But we'll do those two draws as a poll and see what happens.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, it's not.
But even if you got those, let's just say hypothetically, that's still.
I mean, Mike, I'm sorry. Like, you just literally, like, Mike, there's no way that you can go listen to Never Change and then go listen to Destroy and Rebuild and say, yeah, and then go listen to You Don't Know and rewind and be like, yeah, that guy's
You Don't Know is better. Now, I'll give you the other one, maybe.
You Don't Know.
Even I disagree with that, but You Don't Know is better than
I'm willing to draw You Don't Know with Rewind just because one thing executes on a level and the one makes you feel on a level, and one's a banger in a way and one's execution in a way. But saying that You Don't Know, like, you just discounted Rewind like somebody else. No. Listen to what you just did. No, I'm serious, Mike, because I want you to think about this. You talked about Rewind as if somebody else in rap can do it when Nas has proven that he's the only person that can. And
well,
so I just
mean,
want
you
you to
did
remember
the same
that.
thing
No,
with
I want you to remember
Mural.
that when you playing You Don't Know, understand there's nothing like Rewind floating around. And like, so it should win. Like, Mike, it should literally win unless it's up against shit like, I don't know, Fight the Power, Straight Outta Compton, like One More Chance remix. That's
you
the
think
stuff
very highly of the record.
No, Mike, it's not me that thinks highly of Rewind. It's the hip hop population, because it deserves to be held up in a certain way because he did something that hasn't been done on this mic before or since. Why are you like passing that over?
I'm not passing that over. I'm just saying that You Don't Know.
I hear these, like, I'm just saying.
You want to let me finish? Let me finish real quick.
Yeah, that's
You Don't
fine.
Know is a top 3 J record. Rewind is not a top 3 Nas record.
But Jay's not Nas. That's why I keep trying to tell you. Is like, if you start weighing this catalog out, this is what I've been saying for a long time. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, well, you're like, well, this is a top 3 J song. I'm like, so the fuck what? He's not Nas.
Well,
that's what I've been saying since I was younger. That's what I've been saying the whole entirety of the time. It's like, stop making it seem like Jay's best 5'10" is Nas's best 5'10".
I don't. Let me rewind that. Right. I don't think Rewind is a top 10 Nas record.
I'm gonna have to squab with you on that because.
Okay, you think very highly of the record.
Hold on, say it. How about this? This is what I'm saying. Saying Rewind isn't a top 10 Nas record. Well, that's like saying Lyrics of Fury isn't a top 10 Rakim record, or Dumb It Down or Mural isn't a top 10 Lupe record. That's what you're doing when you do that. Are you saying that?
No, I don't think that's what I'm doing. I don't think that's what I'm doing. Nas got a lot of records.
Where does it exist in terms of where it belongs lyrically? It belongs next to Lyrics of Fury and Mural and stuff like that, right? You don't say that about those songs. Why are you saying that about Rewind?
Because Nas has a much vast catalog.
Because he's the GOAT.
And that's just real. Like, at the end of the day, I'm picking every song not named One Time for Your Mind on Illmatic over Rewind.
No, see, this is what I'm saying. See, you weigh things differently.
I'm just saying, as far as a song.
I mean, it's got to have a feel, Mike. It can't always be the feel. Because it's like, how about this? I think The World Is Yours feels better than Dead Presidents. But when it comes to the song, I think it's a draw. You feel what I'm saying? The World Is Yours feels better than Dead Presidents.
They both do very similar things.
No, they don't.
They both feel very good.
No. Nas isn't talking about hustling or selling drugs and almost
getting
shot.
But
they don't do the same thing.
I feel you. I'm just talking about the feel sonically.
You think the feel sonically is the same?
I think it does similar things when you listen to it.
I mean, that's just because he took Nas's shit, though. I'm talking about like the execution of it, actually. But what I'm saying
007.
is,
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna get to the super chat because we like 3.5 hours in. We gotta ride out. 007 says, "What track list y'all using? Poison, Second Childhood." Yeah, that's what goes around comes around.
What goes around comes around.
Paige says the Blueprint was more influential. Also, more hits.
Okay, so this is what I keep saying.
Andre Shashir says, Nas my dog, but Rewind is not in my top 10.
So listen to what he's saying. Even when he's talking about Blueprint with the singles, this is what I mean. It's like, well, Izzo didn't hold up like that. I love Girls, Girls, Girls. Didn't hold up like that. Jigga that nigga. You get what I'm saying? It's like, don't go to the singles on the Blueprint. That's why I'm telling you. Like, how about this, Mike? When it's actually said and done, listen to what I'm saying. When we are talking about these guys' catalog, when we're talking about Nas's catalog, we're going to talk about Rewind. We are not going to talk about Never Change. And you know that. And that's why it's better. In relationship to their catalogs.
This is You Don't Know, not Never Change. You talk Never Change was going up against Destroy and
Rebuild. No, even with You Don't Know. How about this? When we talk about his catalog.
Come on, man. We talk about You Don't Know, man.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. When we talk about him as an MC, we are not going to bring up You Don't Know as an example of his MC skills. Because we have dead presidents. No, Mike, you're not about to do that. Because we got dead presidents. We got
You Don't Know is one of Jay-Z's most important
You Don't Know is not one of lyrically Jay's best songs. Stop that, Mike.
It's a top 3 Jay-Z song.
Mike, I'm going to say this again, and you're going to stop sidestepping what I'm saying and listen to what I'm saying. When we talk about who he is as an MC, that's not what's going to be brought up.
But like you said in the Lupe episode,
okay, so you're not going to let me finish. You're not going to let me finish?
It's more than the lyrical miracle stuff. That's what you said.
Okay. So can I finish?
Go ahead.
So once again, when we talk about Jay's career as an MC and as a lyricist, we're not going to bring up You Don't Know. When we talk about Nas's career as an MC and as a lyricist, we're bringing up Rewind. When you talk about Jay as a lyricist, you're going to go to The Evils. You're going to go to Can I Live? You're going to go to Imaginary Player. You're going to go to Streets is Watching. You're going to go to Rhyme No More.
Maybe you will.
You're going to go to 44 Fours. No, Mike, Mike, if you go pull the bars up from You Don't Know and try to tell me that that's a guy that deserves to be in the greatest MC argument of all time, I'm going to clown you. And you know that. Stop that.
But man, it's like you said in the Lupe episode, it's not all about lyrics.
Right. I said
it's more than MCing than just lyrics.
Like I said, Mike, you spending so much time talking, you're really not hearing what I'm saying. I said when we talk about the MCs and the lyricists that they are, You Don't Know is not going to come up. 44 Fours is more of an accurate depiction of him as a lyricist than You Don't Know. That's what I'm saying.
But what about when we talk about the overall MC?
Right. Hold on. So an overall MC is an MC that can do anything. Like, I don't know, tell a fucking story backwards. What are you trying to say?
Oh my God.
You said, no, listen to what you just said. What'd you just say, Mike?
There's more to MCing than telling a story backwards. And I'm not trying to diminish that. I think it's an incredible
There is more to MCing than that. But when only one guy has done it at the highest level, shouldn't we kind of hold that up higher? You got somebody else that's done it?
We'll see what people
Mike, just give me the stories that have been told backwards excellently, and I'll let you have this point. But if you can't give me anything,
put it to the people, man. Ain't
where
nobody
are they at?
playing
Name
that
the songs,
record, man.
Mike. Name them. Where they at? Like all those Lupe tracks people be talking about. Don't nobody talk about those tracks the way they talk about Rewind, and you know it because we have.
Well, they talk about Mural, very heavy.
Right.
Reggie with Super Chat says, fellas, it's easy for everyone to point
Mural's
out
9 minutes
the
long,
flaws
right?
in the album. How would you guys fix or rework Nas or Jay's worst rated albums? Take us in the lab. Well, that would give us a whole nother 30 minutes, man. We gotta go.
Right. You wild for trying to sit up there and make it seem like Jay is some sort of great MC on You Don't Know. That's a feeling record, Mike. That's not an MC record.
Dope record, man.
Mike, it's a dope ass record.
Yeah.
It's a great record. It's one of his best records. It's not Rewind if you're an MC. Like, if you go play, how about this, Mike? If you were to go take somebody that never heard those two records and be like, who's the better rapper?
No, that's not the question. What's the better song is the question.
Rewind's the better song because it's the only song that exists as such. Like One
that
of Ones.
That doesn't make it better, man.
No, Mike, that is the thing about it that I think that you're missing. One of Ones are always better. They're rare pieces of art. They're worth more. They're priceless.
Okay. All right, well, we'll put the poll out there. I'm going to get to these last two super chats, and we got to go, y'all. Brian says, Are y'all doing more top 5 album lists? I think it'll be interesting if you do one for artists that don't have an easy 5 to pick because of the quality. Artists like DMX, Ice Cube, Snoop, Redman. Yeah, we'll do some more of that.
Those guys have quality.
Yeah, they do. Ethan Hill says every ghetto wasn't mentioned.
Oh, that's the one. Every ghetto. Isn't that after though? That was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to. I get what you're saying. I listen to You Don't Know more than Rewind, Mike. But if you're sitting those songs next to each other and you're like, oh, which song is better? You didn't ask me which song I want to hear more. You didn't ask me which song had the better replay value. You asked me which song is better. It's like, oh, the nigga that's rapping and telling the whole story backwards is better. You asked me what was the better song. As soon as you can provide me evidence of where Jay can tell a story backwards like that, or Eminem, or Lupe, or Royce, or Rakim, or any other rapper who ever lived at that level, it's going to be Rewind because it's a one-of-one record. You know who put me on to that? I didn't used to feel that way. Our guy Kendron, who runs the hip-hop sports group we're a part of, he's like, I think Rewind might be the best hip-hop record ever. And I was like, why? He was like, show me somebody else who did it, Coop. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's valid. Because if nobody else has done it, Mike, that would put it up really, really high, don't you think? Because y'all talking about Mural? Mural's 9 minutes long. That's not entertaining. Rewind is like 2 minutes and 12 seconds or something, Mike. That's entertaining. And he told the story backwards. Like, come on, dude. It's like, I love You Don't Know, but stop that.
We'll
it's
put
like
the poll up.
I wouldn't do that if I was.
All right, man. We're going to holler at y'all Friday, man. Great
There
show.
you go. We'll stop with the Lupe cap. He nice with it. I didn't say he wasn't nice. It's a 9 minute song, nigga.